Damn it, I knew I forgot something. Hang on a sec. There I was. I changed everything for the fact that we're down one player, and I had to move this over. There we go. That didn't take much. Hello, everyone. We're a class outfit, honest. Anyway, hello everybody, and welcome to Android Shadow the Beanstalk at Chaotic Neutral Games. I'm Simon, your ST for tonight, as I join Paul, Felicia, and Scorn with their adventures in New Angeles. No more Rodrigo. Good luck with the new job, mate, and we hope to see you soon. So, we are session 3 out of 4, and there's all to play for. They've managed to get some of the 24 hours, the last 24 hours of Lucinda Mayo back together. But the secrets behind this problem, this murder, is far from revealed. So let's go straight in to episode 3 of 24 Hours in New Angeles. And hello to our players.
Hello.
Hello.
So we still have Felicia playing Dr. Bunny, also known as FN. We have got Paul playing Lorenzo, the Fixer. And we have got Scorn playing Lord Folgo, the Superstar. Rodrigo, as I say, has left, and Piper has gone off to do a runner war with the person that hacked and denied them some of their information. And so Piper's still about, and what I will say is that you can send messages to Piper, and what I'll do is I will do a few hacks on your behalf to get certain things done. So let's go through the itinerary, which is just underneath my camera for anybody watching. And we have, apologies for the cough, I've got apparently a post-viral cough that's I've had for 4 weeks, and apparently I'll have it for up to 2 months, which is a real pain when you're doing this stuff. Going through the itinerary, we have In Bed with Meridian Silk, haven't done that yet. The gym at the Ironworks and breakfast with the Hooligans, haven't done that yet. Meetings and inspections with the logistics division in Banner's Yard, not done that. Tactical lunch with Bunny Harvard, you've spoken to her, but you haven't asked her what happened during that lunch. Check in with Haas Bioroid, I have told you that's mostly for flavour, and you've already visited Haas Bioroid anyway and got anything you would have got from there. Tech service by Jimmy Rip, now you're with Jimmy right now. Pick up sweeteners at Euphoria, you managed to use unconventional tactics to screw information out of them, literally. And office time at the atrium was where Piper went to shine and managed to get, I think, one of the more interesting bits of information so far. And that is that Lucy provoked her killers. Then you've got former mixer at the MBN Paragon Club. So that's a news Paragon Club, which you haven't done yet. And get wrecked at the Deep Corners Club. Now, you did go for a little bit of bonus content, didn't you? You went for the autopsy.
Mm-hmm.
And from that, you noticed that there was a slightly blurry scan of the body, and so that's something to look into as well. Something that you've been able to put together with a few more bits of data, and the data was that the file, the bioscan that was given to Jimmy Rip, to allow Lucinda to have BioWare implants because she has a cyborg hand and some cyborg parts of her face. The intention was to give him the biodata of her body so that they could extrapolate biological arm and replacement biological face. And you notice that there's actually 2 versions of her overlapped, and she's picked out what you said last session, the best bits.
Yeah.
So, Jimmy's still available. You were talking to him about what it would be for her to restore, in her new bioroid form, restore her sensations. And he said it's not impossible, but it would require a lot of material from Jinteki.
Indeed it would, and that is going to be an issue considering she's working with their direct competitors.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Haas bioroids and Jinteki clones are 2 of the best sellers, and they're currently in a huge popularity war as to which one is the best. The fashion has not been established.
Well, I kind of feel like the other half of this mystery lies up north, and maybe we'll get around to that later. But for now, we had a date with our local celebrities.
Jimmy says, okay, well, If you need anything from me, you know where I am. Kind of looks around you. See you later, Bunny.
See you later.
Hey, before we move on, we're gonna ask you everything. So
Yeah.
we're working for Lucy, right? Just giving a clear nod and staring at everyone. We're working for Lucy.
Yeah, that's what you
Yes.
said.
Just making sure that that's what we'll, on. Anything comes to it, that's what we live by, right?
Sure thing.
Yeah, no problem.
Right. Well, before we leave, Jimmy, any chance you work on any of the hooligans? And you don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me directly who they are, any of them. Unless we'll know if you may or may not work for any of the mercenaries.
Let's just
in the
say
area.
I'm the best option in the area.
Right. If we leave you a message, because I think the hooligans are going to find us one way or the other, how about we leave them a message with you, then you hand it to any of them, and just give it from us, and say that we work for Lucy in capital letters, and would like to meet them, let's say, a middle ground. Harry Potheads is a good place. Just down. That's a middle ground outside of their lot, outside of our lot.
Okay. Well, Bunny
That way
here
we-
has patched up a few of them in the past, so I'm sure she'd be able to maybe do something as well. But let's just say if I've got a contact to send this to, I might send it to them.
Thanks. Yeah, put my phone on there just in case they want to get hold of me.
I've got your IDs. It's fine. It's fine.
Right.
Yeah, no.
I just
I've
don't want to
had
get Bunny in
contact with
trouble.
a few of them. It's fine. We can probably set it up without any issues.
Bunny's got rep.
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah.
As long as we get hold of them. I just don't want to find them, because I think they're probably going to look for us. If I had to guess for it.
Well, that's the question. Do we want to go to them or give them the time to come to us on their own terms?
I say we go over to the banner yard and see if they get hold of me and say if we're going to meet up or not. Or we get Bunny to, while we're going to the banner yard, have a quick word with, some of her contacts, see if they want to have a word.
You're in
Just
hooligan
'cause-
turf at the moment. Trust me.
Yeah.
You'll
It's
you'll
not
hear
like
from them
we
before you
ever
get to
left
Banner's
it.
yard.
Yeah, so we may as well head on the way then, because we'll see if we can meet them up in any of the local areas.
Right. Not a problem. We'll get it sorted.
Yeah.
And he
Have
kind of
you
looks at you as if to say, "If I'm going to send the message, I'm not going to do it with you in my store."
No.
Oh no, I'm getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
Oh, I do turn the Bunny into, hey, you want a happy slap?
No.
Okay. I was like, put down the happy patch.
I love the fact that you called it Happy Slap. It's a
Yep,
slap
that's
patch and it's a happy patch, but it's just kind of like Happy Slap.
Yeah, no, you put it up in your palm and you slap someone with
Yeah.
it. That's how you say hello. What up?
On the forehead. Right. Okay. Jimmy shows you out. And let's say in the time it takes you to just kind of gather your surroundings, you yeah, go on. I'll give it to Scorm, but also Bunny gets a hit as well.
Yeah.
Actually, you're a fixer, Paul. All three of you get basically a group text, and it says, "Want to meet the hooligans?" ?
Yeah.
Cross the road.
Perfect.
You cross the road, and as you do so, there's a guy who's just smoking like a black cigar. He's big, ripped guy, cyborg, and you can see that his arm only barely hides the fact that it opens up and a weapon comes out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the barest amount of concealment you can get for a weapon, and he kind of he's looking into the middle distance. You can see his cyber eyes are kind of brr, 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 there's something in front of
yeah.
him. He looks at you, looks back, kind of nods, says something that you can't read from this distance. Takes a final drag on
No,
the...
but can I hear it?
Ooh, actually, yeah, you're Gmod. Go on, give me a roll. It'd be like a diff 3.
Diff 3.
Perception diff 3.
Yeah.
And you eliminate blacks from perception, don't you?
Yeah, maybe. Give me a moment.
Or is it from medical that you do that?
No, I do it from medical.
Okay,
but
one black then, because
I'm.
it's busy street.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do we still have my friend tailing us, Chupacabra Man?
Oh god, yeah.
Perception, you said.
Mhm.
I only have greens in that. Div 2.
Mhm.
Okay. Any blacks?
One black.
One black. Okay.
Yeah, it's a busy street.
Eh,
Yeah, it's a success. No,
it's an advantage.
With an advantage, you don't hear what he says because I can't give you any of that because that's the direct success. What you do get from his body language is that it probably wasn't that important. It was mostly kind of like, yeah, right, yeah, kind of thing. He's mostly kind of like he's like nodding. You know, he's got that kind of thing going on.
Mothers.
And with his cybernetic arms, he takes the cigarette out, pinches the end, kind of snaps the end off so it doesn't set fire to his trousers, puts the rest of the cigarette in his pocket, and starts kind of walking up, very much kind of like sashaying towards you. He stops like right in front of you, checks his shoe to see if there's something on the bottom of his boot, and he goes, "Looking for the hooligans.
Yeah.
Follow me." And he just starts walking off. He's walking towards one of the stacks.
Yeah.
And it's a stack that you know well, Bunny. You have been there before, and you have treated hooligans there before. Where in there you don't know. I would like you to give me. Let's see. It'll probably be a knowledge, culture, 2 or 3, your choice.
Culture, not society.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me just double check my thing.
So one thing I do like about Genesys, you can say, oh, you can use this difficulty or this difficulty. Obviously, if you choose the lower one, I'll tell you less. Okay, cool.
Well, those are successes.
Yeah. The threat, actually, I'm going to ignore. And I don't see a narrative reason to have it. So, yeah, you know that there is a place here that you suspected for some time is a hangout of theirs. One of the floors in the stack is kind of like a little food court, I guess. It's got some grocers and things like that, and the hooligans are always kind of hanging around there. You haven't stuck around long enough to find out, and you're almost certain they're going to take you there. You do know that the hooligans, as I say, they are family based. There are some people who get brought into the family, but they are a group of families they started off as, and they are second or third generation Hasbioroid aligned. So the current leader is like either the son or the grandson. It's a bit hard to tell of the original person who got favor with Hasbioroid. And as a result, the hooligans have normally got pretty good tech. They get it maintained by Jimmy, but often they will bring Jimmy like an arm or like an implant and say, "Put this in me," and he doesn't ask any questions to where they get it from. So that they normally more tricked out than your average street gang. They often find themselves in possession of fairly well-maintained weapons as well, and they are mostly street enforcers, which is basically a protection gang, but it's like a prepaid protection racket. If you are pro Haas, or if you're not going to make trouble for Haas, you can normally go to them and they might help you out. If whatever you're asking for help for outlines that what you need help with is an enemy of Haas, they are compelled to help you. And so people have worked that before. Yeah. Needless to say, any local Jinteki employees don't go asking for help.
No.
Okay. So, you get taken off. Basically, it's off the grid. Even though, yes, it's in one of the stacks, it's in amongst a huge population center. You go into the main concourse of the stack. Each stack is ridiculously large. It's cramming people on top of people on top of people. And the kind of atrium that you go into, shouldn't really use that word because there's a place called the atrium. The main boulevard, when you go in there, the main foyer, is usually bustling. You get street hustlers, you get people trying to sell things, you get people meeting up. There's kind of almost like a couple of little meeting spots and things like that, but not a huge amount. That gets kind of distributed throughout the stack. And then you've got lots of different ways to get up. You've got stairwells, you've got lifts, you've got various other different ways of getting to the different floors. Mostly lifts. And normally if a stack is controlled by a particular group, they almost certainly have hacked the lifts. And so if you're trying to get into one of these stacks surreptitiously, normally the best thing to do is go up the stairs, because they're not going to be checking those, right? But you get a better shot. The guy goes up, calls a lift, and glares at anybody who tries to get in the lift. He holds it open and looks at you and goes,
Yep.
Yep.
Head in. I've been here before. This is usually the treatment. Like, I just go in.
Yeah. You turn around and Hermit, your tail kind of just points to the floor as if to say, "I'll stay here."
I just give a slight nod, but don't say anything. Just like nodding as though I'm just like listening to the music I'm playing on my own guitar. But
Yep.
it's obviously a signal.
He puts on a pair of earphones, or puts in a pair of earbuds, and just basically leans back and starts kind of, bopping along. You don't know if he switched on the music or not, but he seems to be doing a pretty good job at looking like a guy who's just chilling. And there's other people doing this similar things. Some of them are off their tits on drugs. And the door's closed, and you shoot up into the stack. When it opens, there's a familiar hustle and bustle, and Bunny called it. There's groceries and things like that. This is kind of like where everything gets stored in the stack. And normally you can get some good deals if you're around here. If you're not from around here, you are going to get fleeced. And so as a result, only the locals are here. And when you step out,
we are local.
a lot of people look at you. You're from a nearby stack. You're not from this stack. You're from a nearby stack.
Okay.
But they look at you, and you can see that there's these levels of assessment that they go through. Are you local? Yes. Are you this local? No. Bunny, when you when some people see you, there's a couple of people who kind of give you a nod. You've healed so many people, you're just kind of like, I can't remember you, dude, but sure, I'll give you a nod back. So you do get acknowledged. And I'll say, based on a quick roll, yeah. Both Paul and Scorn. So, Lorenzo, there are people here who have bought from you before. Vendors, in fact. Who, kind of give you a bit of a kind of thing as they're haggling. So a couple of the vendors are happy to talk to you. And there are a few people who are just kind of, a couple of laborers, I'm going to say, brought kind of like fruit and veg crates, put them down. They look up, they see Lord, and they go. So yeah, you got people who've listened to you. You're in your home turf. You're in the neighborhood, so that's cool. And the guy goes, the guy who's leading you goes, "Fuck's sake, come on!" This gorilla of a guy who clearly doesn't realize how gorilla-like he is because the heavy mods that he's got on his forearms and hands weigh his arms down a little too much, and so he kind of stoops a bit as he's walking because he's not using his posture to keep his arms up. And they walk you to a place called the Hangover Diner.
Yeah. I remember that name from last time.
Yep. And, so Bunny, you've never been in the Hangover before,
No.
but it's always been like an epicenter. And it's kind of been a bit of this is a place for local people. Now, the Hangover Diner you have seen from the outside. It's so cool because it's precariously attached to the side of the stack and literally hangs off the side of the stack. So, yeah, it looks like somebody's kind of grabbed hold of a unit and just bolted it to the side. So, yeah, you're hoping all the welding is good. Otherwise, you guys will be sliding off the side of a 40-story building.
I do that thing that kids do when they walk inside that isn't steady, just jump up and down to get inside. It's like, yep, okay, that's good.
As you get in there, there's a guy who is he looks part Latino. He's got dark hair that's kind of buzz cutted all over. He's got what seems to be tasteful metallic tattoos on the kind of shoulder of one arm going down to the bicep. He's wearing a black vest, but instead of a black vest because it hides the dirt, this is a black vest that you can see has been washed. He's wearing kind of like combat BDU bottoms with various pockets and things like that on it. And that where the vest kind of hugs close to his chest. And you can see that it's a little too perfect. You're thinking maybe there's some Bucky weave in this vest. The pants are a lot baggier and probably hide a multitude of sins. And then he's just got these polished combat boots on as well. And the gorilla that brings you in goes, Javid, got guests. Javid looks up. So I see. Come, sit down. Your friends, yeah, for now?
Yeah,
Sit down.
definitely. And
I
I
think-
just sit down and where he's like clearly pointed to where we're supposed to be.
State your business.
We're currently working for
Lucinda Mayo.
Lucy. She asked us to look into what happened to her, and we know you met with her yesterday. Honestly, we're just looking to find out what happened here so that we can like trace anything that.
You know, she met a messy end, let's say.
Did she know?
Something to do with human first and all.
It's very easy to throw that name around here. Human first aren't necessarily liked in these streets. Can be a convenient way of just passing on someone's death, yeah?
Oh yeah, I agree, but unfortunately they.
Hey, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Who are you to come and ask me to give you information on my potential associates?
We're just looking to help a friend out here, and so.
Is that right? Okay, okay. Say hypothetically I did it. Say hypothetically I killed her. What are you going to do, hero?
Well, that would put us all in a predicament, wouldn't it, really?
Oh, would indeed. What are you going to do? Right here, right now, I say I did it. What are you going to do?
I would ask why.
I just lean back and as I do the classic thing of, as the coat goes back, the holster gets sort of slightly revealed on the side and goes, well, I'd have to have a little think, I suppose. But if it turns out you killed a friend of mine, well, then we'd have some serious business to talk about, wouldn't we?
You're talking around the issue. He slams on the table, pushes it right up to you, so the table's kind of like
I'll
almost...
use my recently purchased quick draw talent to just up comes the fletchette pistol above the table before it slams into me.
He puts his forehead on the tip of the pistol and goes, yeah? You're going to shoot me? I tell you that I did it. Hypothetically, I tell you I did it right now. You going to pull that trigger? Amongst all this, and he points to the 30-odd people around who are looking at you very intently right now. You going to pull that trigger?
As this going, I want to activate Clever Retort and go, hey, so when you're done making out, can we talk about Lucinda Mayer?
He glances at you but for a millisecond, but he locks eyes on Lorenzo and goes, I asked you a question, hero.
And I just like glance over towards the window and go, I've still got options.
Still not answering my question. If I killed Lucinda Mayo, this friend of yours, what would you do?
You. I would do you.
Yes! You see this? You see this right here? This is loyalty. This is you walking into the lion's den. Someone rubs out one of yours. Doesn't matter, you come out alive. All that matters is how many fireworks you set off as you go.
And I was still sort of
I've
like,
always subscribed to the notion that the
Just
one
tell
who
Lorenzo.
knows
Reminds me,
how
we need
to
fireworks.
end you the best and most painful way is the one who fixes you up.
Maybe
Sorry.
different worlds, but I got it out of you. That's what I'm talking about right here. Loyalty and honor. You want some coffee? We got real coffee. Get these people some coffee.
a coffee I would love.
Please.
Put the pistol down, like hand off the pistol. It's on the table now.
I never went to sleep yesterday because I
just,
was here patching up one of your guys.
We know who you are, but we also
good.
know that it's a job. Yeah, there's a difference between
Yeah.
what you do and who you are.
Well, I got something a bit better than coffee. I just can I use my deep pockets and I'm gonna pull out a vintage bottle of like whiskey that I've got from someone or something
Sure.
at some point. Like, oh, you go, it's a gift, mate. You're gonna, if you're gonna give us anything, you've got to give you something in return.
He goes,
Let's fly it.
respect. Get some shot glasses. We're gonna toast to our friend here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we knew Lucy. We knew her. We approved of her as well. She had what it takes to survive, you know?
Indeed.
You got questions? You ask your questions, we give you answers. Go.
Well, what was our business here yesterday?
Okay. Standard check-in. Everybody knows our rep. We're in with Haas. And yeah, she was here about 20-25 minutes. Enough time for maybe double red eye and a hash brown. Was that right? Yeah, double red eye and a hash brown. You notice that this is a cafe, but they clearly own the cafe. She seemed like normal, I guess. What would you say? Was she normal? No, she was. Let's see. She wasn't angry. She wasn't like scared. She was like, I don't know, focused. You know, I mean, she's always focused, but more focused than usual. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? She almost to the point of being distracted. Yeah. Normally, you get questioned by her,
She
especially.
tends to focus on the task at hand, not on a separate
That's it.
matter.
That's it. And she wasn't focused on us. She was focused though. Yeah. We gave her all the updates, stuff you probably don't need to know about. Local threat analysis and all of that. But yeah, all of that. She was, it's like she took it in, but she was somewhere else. You know. Like she was, like she was fixed on the next thing she was gonna do. She just seemed like, I don't know, maybe a bit confused. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, she wasn't here long at all. You know, she was. But you think she was rubbed by human first, or was that just a line?
Oh no, we suspect it might be them due to the nature of her corpse. I guess her previous body.
There's a lot of smells in that general direction, but
I mean, you're not
Maybe
just saying that
someone-
because she was HB, right?
It was
No.
either one of them or someone who's pretending to be them. That's what we've logged down right now. We're trying to get it clear.
See, now you're thinking layers upon layers. That's how the streets work. I mean,
Clearly.
she was normally really good at not pissing them off. You know, she would, she'd slap them down a bit when they got a bit cheeky, but she would do it in a subtle way to just kind of convince them that it wasn't in their best interest to do certain things. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, she was never. She never really had a problem with them. I mean, the HB doesn't really have a problem with them. I mean, they got rubber cannons now to slap them on the wrist when they go do something. I mean, they're not big threat around here. I mean, hell, we keep them down in the local area, and we're just like a bunch of local boys, you know. So it's not a big deal.
No.
But yeah, I mean,
Which is why we kind of settle on it might be someone who's pretending to be human first, because that is a easy.
I mean, don't rub them out completely. I mean, they had a reason to maybe, you know,
We've seen the message boards.
to take ahead. You know,
Yeah.
they may have wanted to take ahead to just say to HB, hey, we're still here. I hope it's not that. I hope she didn't die for something small. I mean, you know, like I say, you know, when you go out with fireworks. You know, I'm hoping that she was blowing something wide open when they rubbed her, if they rubbed her, you know. But I don't know. I just seems convenient. I dig a little deeper, you know.
It certainly matches their MO, laser cutter, you know.
Yeah, boys. That couldn't have been pretty.
It wasn't.
Talking about that, mate. I'm sure before she left anyway, like yesterday, did she ask or did she leave straight away, or did she go looking around the stack a bit? Because okay, we know that something's happened with a scan of hers, and it's been hacked. It's been proper hacked. I mean, I don't know any of that computer stuff, but it's basically multiple scans ripped together. And if you try touching
like
it,
a scan of her, like a scan of her body, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we believe she got it before she came here, so that's why she might be off.
I know where she went before here. She's just coming from a workout. But it's probably a stupid detail. I mean, she had a kit bag with her, yeah. So she just come from the gym. But don't read too much into this. But after someone's worked out, they got a certain glow, a certain aroma. She probably got interrupted or something. I don't know. Maybe she couldn't get there in time and just didn't do a workout, but she didn't smell like she'd been working out.
What sort of time was she here yesterday? Close to 9 or earlier?
She was, let me see. Let's Simon look at his notes. Yeah. She came here about just past 8:30. Yeah.
Real interesting. Real interesting.
Yeah, she left here about 5:09.
5 to 9, eh?
That paints a real picture for us, actually. Sorry, it's full thinking now. Anything else we want to squeeze out of Javid?
So she didn't go anywhere else in the stack then? Just left her.
No, we watch everybody come and go. She came straight in, hit the lift, crossed the market straight here.
Yeah, because as far as
What
we
she
know,
normally does.
as far as we know, she's got to have found a hacker during the day, and we're trying to work out that. They've probably got a good clear of what's going on.
I must admit, we don't do much with runners. We got a couple of runners we got on retainer to make sure we're protected, but that's about it. Mostly we deal with information brokers, fixers like your boy here. Then after that, once we get our information, we just send people out on missions.
Yeah.
To be honest, if you know anyone for a gig sometime, we'll be happy to do it up here. I mean, you're giving us a favor. We'll do it probably for like a drink. I can probably talk the lads into doing that.
You've already had the whiskey during this chat, and he's kind of just playing with the shot glass, and he goes, "Yeah, man, yeah, you want to play up here? There's no problem. You know,
I gotta play everywhere. I'm everyone's friend, you know. No point in making enemies. No, I can avoid it.
Your type is always everyone's friend.
Well,
Yeah, but I don't have a problem. You want to come and play up here? Yeah, sure. Just come speak to my boys. We're not gonna be against it. You know, people gotta live up here.
well, thank you for the time, man. I would say, like, if you get any information or if you think of anything else, you can get hold of us. So, you know how, like, when you get the drinking going, you sometimes like, actually, I forgot to say that. And you just think about it, like, in the shower, like, 15 minutes later.
I think of anything. I got your contact details. I'll send you anything over. Hey, you get any
Thanks, man.
problems? You find yourself on a tail or anything like that? Just just find any of my boys. Yeah. Just you just have to call out hooligans in the streets around here. One of us will be nearby. Yep.
Yeah, I get a feeling a little bit of digging and stuff is gonna, at least annoy human first.
Good coffee.
Yeah, that's the real stuff. In fact, Lucy managed to get consignment of that for us. God, this is months ago. Don't know how she did it. That's real stuff. That's not even 50% soy. That's full.
Yeah, this is just what I need after a shift.
Yeah.
Or during a shift.
Almost everywhere I've been, it's been
shift.
50-50 at the least. In some places, you'd be lucky to get 5%, especially down here, down south.
Mm-hmm.
We got 100% right here.
I don't think I've ever had 100%.
You know
coffee.
I'll be back.
Well,
This is
Jibby,
good stuff.
Well, it's good to have a medic around. You're welcome.
I'll say you've been real helpful, Jibby. I'm sure I'll bring you a wristy to play with sometime soon.
We don't really do jobs for wristies. But you ever get any decent tech or any information about the local area that we may find disturbing, you bring it my way. We will reward you, yeah?
All right.
Sounds like a good deal.
Before you get a chance to pick up your flechette pistol, he snatches it up and then hands it to you and he goes, "Next time be more ready to pull the trigger." And hands it to you.
I'll just back into the holster, give him a little nod, and head on out, basically.
Hey,
Yeah.
Lorenzo, before
Yeah.
we leave this place, I think it might be a good idea. You know how to do this stuff. Grabbing it doesn't need to be expensive. Just a cheap gimmick, maybe based on some type of band or the flavor of the month. Some type of gift, because we're going to be talking up in the MBM, like in the Spire later. We're going to bring a gift, butter them up,
Yeah.
Something authentic golem yard, eh?
Give me some society. This is society. So Bunny will be able to do this. And
Yeah.
I'll allow something suitably performance-based for Scorn. Paul will get
What
his
is
chance
the
to shine
diff?
shortly after.
Say again?
The diff here is MBN, so that's going to be a 3.
Performance.
No, you haven't been
I
able
have
to rub
no
shoulder.
clue.
You spend too much time patching people up,
Yeah,
A success would have been you patched up a guy once and it turned out that they were a reporter in the streets. So
yeah.
So since I know people like, the when you see stands outside, the ones who do the music stuff always have something playing, and it's always something a bit underground. I'm able to listen out to see if I can actually hear something that I'm like, I get that, that's a bit underground. That's not the pop music for everyone else. As we're going through.
yeah. I mean, as I say, you get to choose what you think would be a suitable, knowing what what the up and coming is. It could be a charm, actually. Your knowledge of charm,
That's like a good one.
because charm is style, it's attitude, it's all that lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go with Tom then. And 3 difficulty. Well, nope.
Oh no.
I'm a bit
Okay.
overwhelmed in this case.
Okay. In that case, it's down to Paul. you're in the stacks at the moment. Really, for MBN, you probably would have had a better chance in Euphoria. Now, you do have a
Freebie.
tester. You have a freebie. Which will be something that will ingratiate you with a certain number of executive types in MBN. But if you wanted to source something, something that would be newsworthy, that isn't to do with Lucy, you could, for example, use a little bit of streetwise here. Now that you're in a place where the local enforcers are kind of approving of you. I wouldn't say they're sweet on you. Sweet on you would have been if you jumped across the table, put a gun to Javid's head and said, theoretically, if it was you, you'd already be dead. Because Javid's a certain type and responds to a certain amount of bravado. You passed. It was a steady pass. It was by no means a distinction.
Yeah.
And, you
I am fine with being a pass on this.
So if you want, you can maybe try to do a bit of gossiping and see what's hot down in the Grove, you know?
I'll go for a streetwise check to see if there's anything worth throwing up. Anything worth big city news.
Anything less than a 3 isn't going to interest the MBN.
Yeah.
You can go higher if you want, but 3 is probably about a solid.
I'll go for the 3. So
thing,
just
yeah.
standard. Yeah. Okay. Streetwise for 3. Hey, there we go.
Okay.
It's a pass.
You've
once
got,
again, it's a pass. That's all we need.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you've managed to collect as an asset. Just you'll be able to hold yourself in a conversation talking about what shows on the Trivid? What shows on the network and what music is up and coming, what people are really interested in. So yeah, you currently have kind of the ear to the ground on what's going on in the Grove. It's not spectacular, but you'll be able to hold a conversation.
I'll put down Zeitgeist. There we go.
Yep.
I have a tiny shred of Zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's when we actually need to try and swing by that way. So I must admit.
You remember, you hear anything that could harm HB, get on the blower, we'll sort it out. You don't need to go and do everything, yeah? You're investigators.
Yeah.
Sure thing. So tip the hat and saunter on out. Make sure.
He salutes you with an espresso cup and gestures and goes, give me that pad over there. And he starts doing something on a pad quite intently as you leave.
Any chance of a little glance, a little licky-loo before on the way out?
He's scrolling up on something.
Okay, fine. I can't see without going over his shoulder.
Yeah, you'd have to get around the table to his side.
Oh,
yeah.
what you looking at? Yeah, okay, fair enough. No worries. So he begins to furiously scroll and check in with HB and tell him where we are.
Furiously Facebooking, yeah. Okay.
Cool. Okay, so so something definitely happened. Real early in the morning. It looks like something between either Meridian and whatever happened at the gym, but there's a big window there right now. I don't know. I'm feeling for filling in the blanks at the start of the day still. Like I kind of want to know why, whatever she, started doing, started to change her mood. So, Ironworks, Banner's Yard.
I think we said there was the banner yard a lot quicker. No idea.
It's closer if nothing else.
Banner's Yard's on the way. Sure thing.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing I guess we'd like to do is we don't actually have. Well, we were talking to the PA earlier who got us through to Bunny, weren't we?
Yep. Yeah. Bunny's kind of looking out for your calls now.
Okay. Yeah. I would definitely just like to message just to. So I think it's like would like to chat more about the lunch you had with Lucy. Call me, basically.
And she sends back, "I'll make myself free when you're available."
Okay. All right. Go on. Well, if we've got time, I'll make the call as we head, basically, as we sit on the train
Yeah.
or whatever.
Okay.
Um,
And again, this kind of Southern Jessica Rabbit turns up and goes, "You're Aunt Bunny."
Good. What even time of day is it right now? I think now still morning-ish. I can't remember.
It doesn't really matter what time.
Right.
What time it is for you. Yeah, I'm going to say it's mid-morning.
Howdy. Our conversation last time was a bit short and sweet, let's say. I was hoping to, I don't know, ask you a few questions about the last time you actually saw Lucy face to face. Says you met her for lunch yesterday.
You can see that she's put the video on and all the rest of it. She brushes some lint off her blazer. You can see that she's kind of got this corp suit on. Adjusts her blouse and her cleavage in a way that you don't know whether or not she's kind of relaxed around you or if she's deliberately manipulating.
Putting on the front.
Yeah. And she goes,
The answer to that is yes.
"We had a tactical lunch. It's what we do. Street liaison and corporate liaison. We gotta cross-pollinate our information, honey."
But even the street punks told me they could smell something off with Lucy by this point in the day. Wonder if you picked up on anything like that.
I mean, she had something cooking, that's for sure. But no, I mean, she fed me, and she pauses. I mean, and then it's clear that she's just kind of, she kind of pauses and she's reflecting on something. She goes, "Well, I suppose that what she gave me was a little a generic, you know? I mean, we normally, if we don't have anything to say, we normally shoot the shit, you know? We normally just blow off a little steam together. We have done that for each other in the past." And she's clearly flirting with you. And says, "But no, she was a little bit, what she gave me was a bit basic, a little generic. She was a little boring that day, and Lucy's normally anything but boring. In our particular strata of the corporations, we're the go-getters, we're the people who put ourselves on the line, the foot soldiers, if you will. We live like it's our last day. So, yeah, maybe she lost a little bit of that sparkle."
That's sad to hear. A wasted date with a woman like herself. A tragedy.
For sure. I always thought Lucy was down for better things. We were both cut from the same cloth, you understand. I was born into a slightly higher layer of society, which is why I was able to get where I am. But she had the same skills. I'll put my hat on that particular head. But I don't know, where I've just been a little bit better at swimming with the sharks in suits, and I'm more likely to be killed by assassination. Lucy was a little more likely to die in some sort of gang-banger crossfire or being crushed by some, I don't know, collapsing slum. That's the problem. Even that morning I could tell that no amount of perfume that she was wearing, although she did make an effort for me. She always did, you understand. No amount of perfume was going to be able to get rid of the stink of the slums and the industrial yards. Positively reeked of it. Even Chanel wouldn't cover all that, honey.
Well, looks like that was where she was before she met you anyway, so she came fresh off.
Well, that would make a lot of sense.
I suppose she could have had a shower first at least, but maybe she was in a rush.
Maybe she couldn't find any friends nearby that had a shower.
Successfully.
We live fast-flowing lifestyles. Sometimes you just gotta rock the musk.
Well, I'll say you've been. I don't think anything else. When I push Bunny for off the top of my head. I don't think at this point she's right. What do we know? At this point, she has found out something, probably at the gym, maybe at the. Well, there's a big gap currently between the gym time and the hooligans at the minute.
Which may have been planning time.
Hmm?
She may have been trying to think of a plan during that time.
Or maybe
Yeah.
so when there's a big gap, like the hooligans is right up at the end of that time slot at the minute.
Yeah, I'm
3 hours.
interested to
where it's
see
like,
how long she spent at the gym, considering the fact that she didn't smell like she actually worked out, according to the hooligans.
yeah. That's just the last thing I'll say. But is that when she blew you off for dinner, or was that later in the day?
That was later in the day. She said she needed to have some reflecting to do. I often would think that the reflecting is, well, something creative to do with mirrors and a playmate, but not this time. She seemed genuine when she said she wanted time alone.
And whenabouts was that in the day? I like to be thorough. What can I say?
Let's see. She blew me off around about 4 o'clock, 4 p.m.
Ooh. Okay, sorry. Tapper. Okay. Okay, that is a real help to our investigation, Bunny.
Now, quid pro quo. Don't you be hitting that button just yet, sugar. Oh, well, I'm interested. How much you found out about the departure of my dear friend?
Oh, she's not completely departed just yet. Lucy's still around, just not quite so Lucy anymore. Haas have done what they do best.
Well, they're not usually accustomed to bringing people back from the dead, you understand. Neural tapes are normally used to extract certain algorithmic protocols to make sure that the bioroids we create are more, let's say, complex. We don't normally transfer a single neural tape into anybody. Well, that's not to say that we haven't done what we've done to Lucy before. Typically, a neural tape will be, if we lose an employee, they can still impart some of their experience on us. She's getting a royal treatment. Just goes to show how good she was.
Lucy was an ambitious one at best, and I think she had the talent to back it up, certainly.
Being talented doesn't get you this much favor. I was as surprised as anybody when I found out that she got a full body replacement. That type of thing isn't handed out for free. But you managed to avoid my questions, so what do you think happened at this point? I understand it's rough around the edges.
There's still a lot of holes, let's say, but
I just
something
said that.
something shook Lucy something in the morning, and well, she seems to have put her mind to some course of action that it felt like she knew what was coming might have been coming, let's say. That's my gut feeling. And well, she was taking steps to do something grand. Couldn't tell you what yet, but the day's still young.
Okay. You will tell me the second you know, right? Information is my stock in trade. You give me something to work with, well, that puts me in your debt, you understand? And I, sugar, I'm somebody you want in your debt.
Well, let's see. We're due to. Well, I think we actually have got a solid deadline. We're supposed to get back to Lucy in about at the end of the day. Well, we're supposed to be wrapping this up in the not too distant. So how about you and me sit down tomorrow night and we can, I'll give you a full update.
I'll find a suitable place. And yeah. she is like throwing her charisma score through the comlink at you. She wants to know first. You have a feeling this girl wraps up at poker. She's going completely poker faced here. You don't know whether she is worried that you have found out of her guilt, or that she's brimming with rage and wants a revenge attack against the person who, rubbed her friend, or what. You can't tell anywhere on this spectrum. You have a feeling that Botox might not be the only thing that's stopping her emote. She probably has one or two implants that means that she doesn't show any emotion unless she wants to.
Fair enough, entirely fair enough. Lorenzo is quite happy to fish for a date with an uptown girl, basically.
Yeah.
When his hard day's work is over, he would have been up for something like 36 hours.
Yeah,
taken it off.
You've seen the kind of thing that Lucy does. You can pretty much assume that Bunny uses dating, flirting, and fucking as weapons in her arsenal to get whatever she needs. So, yeah.
Lovely. All right, cool.
Whatever gets the result, that's corp life.
That's indeed. All right, well, that's cool. All right. All right, then. Well, I've got a date for tomorrow. Nice.
Yep.
Poster session. So, I guess we'll leave it there. To the train.
If I need to get my supplies earlier this time or something, I swear, between the two of you, I'm gonna need a lot of needles.
And you don't get the clap, and you don't get the clap.
All right, I'm sure I can get you some recycled needles from somewhere.
No.
Hey, she's
Sure, then
cool.
discount price.
She's cool. She's probably good.
Okay.
She has the money to be it.
Your tram ends up skimming over the huge scene of Banner's Yard. Banner's Yard is a huge... he's just trying to find the bloody sheet that he had right in front of him about 5 seconds ago. Idiot. There it is. Banner's Yard is an ant nest of activity. You can see that there's these large container vessels coming in. They're coming from factories outside of New Angeles, but also in other places around New Angeles. And it's very much import-export. You can see that there are large amounts of crates for things that are made exclusively in the city, like bioroids, for example, being packed onto ships, skimmers, and other such cyberpunk-style conveyances that are shooting out of the city at reckless speeds. This is very much part of one of the arteries coming in and out of the city. And as you step off, you can see that you're stepping off onto what is a human level of the city, or a natural level of the city. Beneath you, underneath the gantry that you're on, there seems to be just ants, and each of them is a bioroid. This is probably the highest concentration of active working bioroids in the city. They're lifting, packaging, moving cargo units with an eerie synchronization and speed. The efficiency is just a little bit unnerving. There are some non-synthetics that are moving amongst them. You can see them in bright jackets with helmets and all the rest of it, as these bioroids are doing incredibly dangerous work. And you can see that the non-synthetics are checking and administering the bioroids with looks of intense concentration on their faces. You can see that they are kind of naturally trying to keep up with the bioroid pace, but failing. And so you can see that every now and again they'll be doing this kind of strange half run, half walk. Running is too fast, but walking is too slow, and you can see them kind of just stopping and starting, and they look out of place. Looking at the synchronicity in front of you, the non-synthetics are very much sticking out like a sore thumb. You have got off at a place that only goes to Banner's Yard. So this is the Banner's Yard stop. And as a result, a security bioroid comes up and challenges you.
Of course.
Hello, do you have business here? This is a very dangerous site.
I look at Lorenzo like, you handle this. You're the fixer.
Yes, we're currently on business from Ha's employee, one Lucinda Mayo, retracing her steps yesterday.
Are you Global Sec?
So I look down at myself, and they're like, "Buy Coke," flashing across my coat, and go, "No, we're private contractors."
Contracted by who?
One, Lucinda Mayo.
You are tracking Lucinda Mayo for Lucinda Mayo.
That's the truth of it.
Do you have any credentials?
I'll just pull out the business card, basically, which is, for whatever it counts as, if it's got a signature or whatever else in, just.
Yep, it's a digital thing, so you'll kind of go to your comlink and throw that. You have been given some credentials by HB/Lucinda. And I'll say you attach them to that, and the security bioroid goes, all is in order. Please come this way. Please stay to the allotted pedestrian paths, or you may be crushed by moving machinery.
Okay, very central to the paths and everything else.
Yep.
Idle thing though, whilst not trying to keep a bit more aware of our surroundings, is there any way that either we or possibly could ping Piper a message to sort of cross-reference where we know the map that Lucy was looking at in her house, sort of a day and a bit ago, to where we are now, or as in, are we going to the place that is circled? Are we near the place that was delineated?
Sure, 1 second. Which means you'll get it in a bit.
Okay.
Clearly, Piper's in the middle of fighting this hacker.
Yeah. Right. Can you just run Google Maps for me, Piper?
Just they're kind of like, you can't do this yourself. Do you realise what I'm doing right now?
They're holding a assassin in the show called in the digital realm, like.
Yeah, but a straw-coloured fluid coming out the ear. Yeah. Okay. So you get taken along a number of pedestrian paths, and then up onto a second gantry, which is part of what seems to look like air traffic control, except there's no air traffic. It's kind of like skimmers and grav type vehicles, but this is clearly the nerve center. You get taken to a certain point, and the security bioroid goes, "No unauthorized synthetics beyond this point," looks at the three of you pointedly and goes, "We shall continue," and keeps walking. You go into.
Good job, nobody played a bioroid. Excellent.
You go into a huge kind of open plan. For anyone who's seen things like war games or anything of the NASA control room, it's very much like that. Just rows and rows of people doing various things. But you can see one guy at the front, and he's a tall African fellow. He's got cyber down the right-hand side of his face. And you can see that his structure is kind of augmented head to toe, but it's not augmented entirely, just bits here and there. But this guy's muscular. This guy is ripped. So he's got a lot of natural strength on top of whatever other bits and pieces. You can see like kind of seams next to his shoulders. You can see that there's kind of like metallic scars along his ribs, where maybe he's had like a skeleton replacement. Sorry, hang on, you wouldn't see that. He's not topless, he's wearing a shirt. But you can see kind of like as his neck goes into his shirt, because the guy's completely bald, You can see that there's been like augments to his spine as well. So he's not full flesh is weak. He's got a lot of his original body there, but dotted around his body is cybernetics. And not going for anybody else. Security Bioroid makes a beeline, asking, this way, please, this way, and takes you right down to the guy at the bottom.
Okay.
Overseer Ogden. He goes, yeah. What do you want? These guests here are here on the license of Haas Bioroid and Lucinda Mayo of Haas Bioroid. And he turns around and goes, oh, I see. And you can see as he turns to you, his cyber eye is still scanning the various screens to the point where when he turns around with the screens back to him, the right-hand cyber eye is pointing backwards. Yeah? So you can see the back of the eye, and it's still doing this. But looking behind him. He goes, back to your station. Very good, sir. The safety Bioroid turns around. The security Bioroid turns around and starts walking back to the station. Lucy sent you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What? Sure. Welcome. How can I help you? Welcome to the nerve center.
It's,
I may.
sure an impressive outfit you've got here.
Oh, yeah. We're one of the busiest logistics yards in the city, and also one of the highest performing for one of our size. Normally, the bigger they get, the more they lose efficiency. Not here.
That's real impressive. We're just following up on Lucy's movements yesterday at her behest. There's been I don't know if you heard the news, but she's a bit like that now, and like jerk the thumb over the shoulder, pointing at the Bioroid that's receding behind us.
He goes, she got some more cyberware?
Let's say all cyborg now.
He kind of looks at you, really kind of confused, and goes, "What do you mean all cyborg? How does that work?"
Well, she had a.
You can see his hands, by the way, even though they're by his side, they're doing the same twitching that Piper does. He's actually working whilst looking at you with his one left-hand eye.
One, yeah. We've got the eye, we've got the mouth. That's all we're getting, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. She met a rather grisly fate last night, and we're trying to work out what happened.
Lucy's dead?
That's
Oh,
about great
brother. Brother, oh my God! What?
Still writing an email. It's not
Oh
that
yeah,
bad.
he's still writing shipping documents. What? But why, man? Everybody loved Lucy. I don't get this.
You don't
Neither do we, which is why we're trying to figure out what's happened.
Sure. So you say that she's dead, but now she's like almost all cyborg? What they do, like replace most of her body or something?
More like upload a scan of her memories onto a Bioroid.
Oh, it's her neural tape. Oh, so she dead.
Yes. Her body is no longer
All that's
in
left is a
existence.
simulation. That sucks, man. I liked her.
Well, we
I'll
all
raise
did.
a glass to her later. I'm working for another 16 hours, but after that, I'll raise a glass.
But anything you could do to help us find who did this to Lucy would be much appreciated.
Yeah. How can I help you? What information can I give you?
Well, first of all, tell us what actually occurred yesterday. We think she was here from. I don't know, remind me so quickly. from about for the better part of the late morning.
Yeah. And you can see his other eye starts to flick back and forth, and he goes, yeah. I've got it here. She was here at 11 and a half minutes past 9, and she left here at 11:45 and 20 seconds.
That's quite a big chunk of time. What was her business here?
She was inspecting. She met with me. She was with me a bit at the beginning, a bit at the end, the usual stuff. She comes and sees me. I give her some details on the work so far. She goes around the yard, and then she comes back and she talks to me about things that she found around the yard, anything of concern.
And what is it that you actually ship here? Everything? Or anything?
Everything.
Even stuff from other corps?
Well, once you get into the shipping business, everything is confidential, you understand. So,
Of course.
normally you'll use a shipping broker to get something in. After that, it's a sealed package. It means that we all have anonymity, and it means that we don't just go busting open packages. So, yeah, we work for our competitors, when we're doing this. I mean, I'm not a member of Haas Bioroid. We are aligned because it's a Bioroid logistics center. We get all of our main labor from them. But other than that, we only have a passing loyalty to HB. So yeah, we pass everything. Everything in, everything out. I mean, once the container's sealed, even GlobalSec can't open it without a warrant.
And just remind me, because we did establish that Lucy was certainly leaking, and I can't remember if they were genuine or not at this moment, but there were leaks about redundancies. Was that here, or was that just generally in Haas?
Nah, that was propaganda. That was propaganda. Somebody was trying to fit Lucy up. Look, we did discuss some of the recent attempts for Human First to sabotage our operation. We're a big target for Human First. Pretty much all of our major labor here is bioroids. But Lucy was getting some success on keeping Human First from hating on us and hating on this area. She pointed out to Human First that a fair proportion of humans are employed here, but bioroids are used here in the most dangerous situations. We could be having like heavy metal. We could be using fuels. It's not unlike a container to explode from time to time if somebody's packed it wrong. Again, we don't pack it. We pack some. We can be given by what we call opens. They'll just bring in the goods. We'll package it for them, send them on to the next thing. We are a broker on top of everything else. But yeah, I mean, Human First were kind of happy with that. The fact that there was still any human jobs here was fine, and they were cool with the fact that you don't want to be having humans lifting barrels of glue, solvent, jet fuel, isotopes. Leave that to the bioroids. You break a bioroid, you just get another one. It's fine. I mean, half our bioroids down there have got standard parts. One of them breaks, we just keep all the parts that aren't broken just in case one of the others breaks. And we don't even have to do that ourselves. All of the bioroids have got their own repair schematics inside them. They get repaired by each other. It's a little scary, actually. We don't even have a maintenance department. We've got like 3 people, and that's for whenever any of the bioroids fuck up. Which they haven't done before, by the way.
They were done before. Okay.
Yeah, so before I ask some questions, you mind if I charge my phone? Just pull out an old com that looks like a flip phone. You mind if I charge it up? We've been going on the case all day.
You guys put it on the pad over there and charge it up for you.
Yeah. So as I go to put it on the pad, I just type to Piper, just winky face, and just see if she can do it. I leave my phone just open, and obviously unprotected because it's a shitty old phone. I just leave it there.
Okay, I'll bite.
And then I just,
let's have a go.
And then I try to go back to distract the guy who's obviously paying attention to stuff. So I just want to go talk to him.
Oh, hang on, they've got knack for it, haven't they? Wow.
Oof.
Oh, more wow.
Oof. Give me the good stuff.
Jeez.
Keep going.
Come on.
Rodrigo, you're missing out. Great.
Now that's some rolls.
Actually, fuck it. I've put a red in.
Stop.
But it's advantages.
You needed it. You needed. That's the one you got. That's where you got your one.
Yeah, the advantages meant that they got to use fucking garrote and keep going. Oh, come on!
Go.
Come on!
Yeah.
Oh, I have to flip that for that one as well, didn't I? Damn it. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to flip another one. I want to keep those for special occasions. Oh, come on! Okay, sure.
Stuff's happening. We'll find out soon.
I'm going to give your comlink some system strain, and because it's so shitty, that actually damages it to the first level. You now have a black to use your comlink.
I'll be honest, I'm surprised I didn't have that to start with.
Yeah, when you take it off, it ain't just charged. It's hot. You can cook on the back of this thing. It's like an old brick Samson. So yeah, you it charges very quickly.
Is it like original Nokia levels of brick?
Oh yeah, there's lots of levels of brick. Although Nokia's didn't used to heat up all that much, whereas old Samsungs, and I'm a Samsung fan.
Yeah, Samsung did heat
Samsung
up a lot more.
But some of them used to, if you put them in hot places like Arizona or next to a radiator, they used to set on fire. The early notes. Yeah, okay. So there is something that Piper gets. Okay. You are spared the quite impressive run where he throttles a they throttled a sentry and jumped through a code gate like it wasn't even there. And you do notice that Kima, Overseer Kima Ogden, if you didn't get that before, Kima did actually package away some footage when you guys started talking. And the footage was of something in a yard. And it seems to be part corrupted. And there was a point where Piper was trying to get any of the footage uploaded and would have been kicked the fuck out if it wasn't for the fact that he kept getting 2 advantages and Garrot kept going, no, it's fine. The sentry's going nowhere. The sentry kept re-resing and they were like, no, we got it. Kind of thing. And yeah, it does seem to be some CCTV footage, and Piper will confirm that the CCTV footage is within the place that Lucinda circled, and has extrapolated it now to the point where the yard is so big that the circle doesn't just circle the yard, it circles the place in the yard where the footage came from.
Okay.
Trying to distract the guy again. Like, hey, so I got a few questions about, like, specifically about her death. So is everything you said that you've been working 100% efficiency, right?
Yeah. We're the most efficient yard. Well, it's debatable. There's a clone yard. They say it's better, but we're better on what matters, production. They offer a few more services that the clones can do, but I tell you, man, they've messed up more of those clones than we've messed up our Boyers, and it's a lot easier to repair a Bioroid than it is a clone.
Right, so I've got a few random questions. I'm not, treat me like a dummy when it comes down to stuff. Do your Bioroids come packed with accessories? Do they need to go mine? Do they come with a mining laser? Do they need to go to a fire pit to get a hose or whatever? I don't know.
I mean, they don't have modules inside them. Normally, they'll pick up tools just like you and I would. Normally, the tools that they have can be a bit heavier, a bit more unwieldy. If they need to have smart connections, instead of having to plug them into a skull jack, they'll normally have a jack just in the wrist, and they'll just pull it out, plug it in, and off they go.
Do you stock them then? Any of the stuff they go with?
Oh yeah, we've got sheds full of the stuff. I mean, normally it's power drivers and things like that to just seal up the crates and things.
Right.
Occasionally, if a crate gets fused, we've got a few cutters and things like that, but that's about it. So yeah.
Well, do you mind? I know it's gonna take you a bit out of your time, mate, but yeah, have you sent off any mining lasers then with any of them recently? Like since yesterday?
No, we don't have mining lasers. We've got cutters and things, and I can hang on a sec. And he looks up and goes, "Yeah, the last time we needed to cut open something because a lock fused was a week and a half ago."
Do you mind just taking us just for a bit, just to the storage place you keep that stuff, and a storage place you keep industrial solvents, just to make sure your count on your digital stuff may not always match the count on the physical shit,
I mean, we've got lots of solvent stored throughout the yard. I mean, that would take you like a week to go through it all. That's assuming that the thing that you want is still in the yard. Normally we package it and it goes, or it comes in and it gets taken into the city. I mean, any shipment that you want to look at is already moved out of the yard.
But
We're that efficient.
a place like this, the inventory is surely tracked, logged, up to date.
The unit that passed through would be logged, tracked as to what was in it, unless we opened it. Nope. But we do open a lot of them. I mean, we open the major cargo container, take up the smaller cargo units, put them onto vehicles so they can go throughout the city and be delivered. So what we call shelling, we shell the containers all the time here. So is there a particular shipment that you're interested in?
Well, I must admit, I'm kind of interested in the cutters you've got. Still got your full inventory?
He looks into the distance. Yep, all accounted for.
Mind if we go check your physical then? Sometimes that can be a bit of a miscount online. And
if you bear in mind what I've just done, sir, I've just looked through the eyes of about 40 different bioroids and can confirm that they're there myself.
Right.
I mean, I'm not checking records here. I'm checking their actual locations, and they're all there.
I trust you, and I don't know any of that stuff. But can we go check them ourselves? Just the cutters now. Just the cutters.
Sure. I'll assign you a bioroid, I guess.
Thanks.
And yeah, a bioroid walks in a few minutes later and says, "This way, please, inspectors. You're going to need to wear some protective personal equipment as you pass through the yard."
I just look over at Lorenzo and Bunny. Do you want to stay here, or do you want to come with me?
I'll, well, okay. Full
If you
talking.
want to keep talking, Lawrence, I can keep Folgo out of trouble.
Sure thing.
Okay. I will make it quick. Bunny,
Mm-hmm.
Lord, they're all in place. It takes
Yeah.
you about
I
2 hours
assumed
to get
so.
around them all.
Oh no.
So as you're going through, I just want to just make sure that none of them look like they, when you've used something that generates heat, it usually slightly burns, like something that's fresh, something that's not been used recently, has a slightly different gleam to it. To see if anything looks like it's been used.
This is CSI shit. Yeah, give me a perception diff 4 with a black.
Perception. Oh yeah, there's perception. And one
Only
black.
thing I would look out for is like blood
Yeah.
splatters.
I don't know.
Like I don't assume anything's gonna have it, since there's so few humans working in these places. But might be indicative.
Felicia, do a perception check. Same diff.
Yeah, I don't expect miracles.
Oh. Wow, that was a stinky roll. Look at that.
Yep.
I
Okay,
have
not
even
that
worse.
perceptive.
Okay, so Lord, you go round and you're like, yeah, no, this is what I was looking for, and you managed to. Your two advantages are you look like you know what you're doing. You managed to fake it, but you don't get a fucking thing. Bunny, on the other hand, gets a bit bored like 20 minutes in out of the 2 hours, and by the end of it isn't looking anymore. It's just kind of like,
Nope.
these have been cleaned by bioroids. Bioroids never shirk on any task ever.
Nope.
These ones especially, these are kind of like the dumber, more regimented bioroids. These things are polished to within an inch of their life. You could have bludgeoned an elephant to death with one of these things and it would still be this clean.
Yep, as expected.
Okay. So, sorry about that. We'll doodly-doo back to Lorenzo.
Okay, so I've got two questions. So let's go. So, first one. So, like, you ever hear of like a management bioroid before? Seems odd, right?
No, there's bioroids at every level. You can get executive bioroids. I mean, normally there's no reason to. That's a good job for a human, so we'd normally give it to a human. He says that a little louder than usual.
Okay.
Almost as if to say to all the humans and all the naturals that are in the room, your jobs are safe. We are not replacing you with bioroids.
Excellent. And so tell me, like, what sort of thing does a corporate really want to look at around here? You know, just walking the yard by themselves, checking inventory, checking the bioroids doing their thing. Everything seems pretty ship-shape from where I'm standing.
Yeah, so Lucy's not anything to do with the actual work. Okay? We got that down. I mean, these people here, they're the best. Yeah? We got the best kit working out there, and we got the best people here arranging it all. Yeah? So we don't need her for that. What we need her for is the dirtier side of things. Yeah? She's a street liaison. That's what she does. So she'll come and tell us if she thinks the Human First or someone else, Jinteki, are gonna mess with us. Yeah? If MBN have been, told of some stupid lie about us, she'll tell us, look out, make sure there's nothing to see, make sure, there's nothing to misinterpret, at least. I mean, we've got nothing to hide here. Normally, she dealt with Human First. Every now and again, they'll break a section of fence, they'll come in. Depending on how it goes, they'll either trash some shipment or something like that and blame it on the bioroids to show that bioroids are unreliable. They'll try to get evidence that bioroids are doing something wrong, like dragging a food crate through a puddle or something like that. It's never happened. They normally go home a little pissed off. And sometimes they come in and try to vandalize the bioroids, graffiti, or whatever. Depending on how zealous they are, they can be anything from just tagging a bunch of our containers to setting explosives. Depends how anarchist they are.
And when's the last time they got in?
About 48 hours ago. Just less than that. But Lucy sorted it. I mean, she had a way with words, man. It was day before yesterday. A couple of Human First came in. Looked like they were going to vandalize a shipment. I think a couple of wrenches and things were swung, but that was about it. But she ended the assault with a few security clones and some carefully chosen words. She was very clever about that. She used to get hold of security clones instead of bioroids. Human First, the ones at the top end, don't like clones either, but they hate bioroids more. So she brought in a couple of security clones, some upstanding, looking like they're corn-fed Iowa boys, to just maybe persuade them that swinging something in their direction would end up with their wrists being broken by some martial artist. Didn't come to blows. If anything, I think she actually defended one of the Human First guys at one point. And yeah, she suggested that if they hung around, they would be arrested, and she was good. They ran her. They didn't just leave. They ran. I was super impressed. Yeah. Afterwards, she left kind of in a rage. I mean, it wasn't a standard visit. She had followed the breadcrumbs to them and stopped whatever shipment that they were trying to sabotage.
Well, that's quite a tale. Certainly new to us. You think it's weird they might have it out for her?
If they did, they probably would have done something then and there. And one of the guys had a gun. Didn't use it.
That's real helpful. I think, well, you seem like a busy man. I'll let you get back to your business. Is there somewhere I can wait for the rest of my people to get finished? Maybe deal with this and just like pull a cigarette out of the jacket.
He goes, sure. This breakout area over there has local extraction. Sit in any of the chairs with a red stripe. Extraction's just above it. Nobody else will be able to smell it.
Okay, so I guess I'd like to. I don't know. It seems like a good idea to go look at the video, basically. So I'll go to my quiet little smoking spot and have my like e-cigar type thing, and like have a look at the video, which is probably not a bad idea in the middle of the Haas facility. But let's see.
Well, it's on your private network.
Yeah.
You're not getting Wi-Fi from the logistics company. And this logistics company, by the way, is a franchise that is allied with Haas Bioroid. It's not owned by them.
Okay.
It's allied with them because they use a fuck ton of Bioroids. They are a purchaser. They're a customer for the most part. But they seem to have had like a tentative agreement of, you know, what's good for you is good for us kind of thing. Typical kind of business alliance type thing. But they're not owned by HP.
Okay.
Yeah, and basically, Lucy's checking in not for their performance, but to say, hey, is everything okay? Look out for human first. You know, keep buying the Bioroids kind of thing. So yeah, she's checking in on a customer at this point. And the inspections that she's doing is making sure that the Bioroids are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and that all their service agreements are up to check and all the rest of it. So yeah, it's all kind of mundane stuff. With the stuff that Piper managed to put back together, the video does seem to be slightly corrupted, and you do get a small amount of the ending. Yeah, the rest of the file seems to be corrupted in some way, but the ending is Lucy walking away from the scene, looking back, and as she looks back, her head kind of snaps around like a snake. She kind of goes, and then looks forward. And then as she leaves, you can see that she's surrounded by these 4 clones. She does this. She flicks her hand, her arm.
Okay. Well, which arm?
Her left arm.
Biological or that?
Her left is biological. Her right is cybernetic.
Okay. Okay.
Give me a perception check. Diff 3 or 4, your choice.
Oh, how do we feel? I tell you what. This one seems important, so I'm gonna probably flip I'm gonna do a 4 with a flip, I think. So give me just a second.
Okay.
Perception. Where's perception? Why can't I read? Maybe. Let's go for an upgrade and see how we get on. So, Zack, and a 4. Come on, roll them dice. All right, flip a point, and no, is that no? Woo, spiky.
Yeah, it's too crackly and all the rest of it. You do get that she is maybe she hurt her hand in the conflict. She's just kind of like fuck kind of thing. But yeah, she's flicking her hand for some reason, and it's her biological hand. That's plain as the nose on your face. You don't have to roll for that. She's not happy. She's furious. And yeah, you're not entirely sure why she should be furious. I mean, technically speaking, she's just succeeded.
Yeah. Okay. Curious around curious. Okay. Um,
I'm going to suggest that unless you have something else for Banner's Yard, we take our 10-minute break, and at the end of it, the 2 hours will have mysteriously happened.
well, is there any way in hell for us to actually get physically to the scene of the crime, or is it
Yes.
way too?
Yeah.
I know before we leave the yard or that, before I even leave the place with the cutters, I do want to ask Bunny something.
Uh-huh.
It's like, hey Bunny, I just like look over the security one and go, hey, can you come over for a moment? Why would mate?
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
I just take out one of those cutters and I go, hey, do you know the cutters? You've got all those schematic things. Do you know about how heavy one of these cutters compares to a mining laser?
I believe that the two are indistinguishable, sir. It depends on the type of cutting that they need to do. Typically, one that requires the cutting through metal will have a slightly different energy focus than one to be able to break apart rock and stone. Typically, a mining version of this tool will have a form of pulse to it, kind of a hammer effect, if you will.
Can you disable this one for me? Just for a moment. Just turn it off. Just make sure I can't accidentally launch it or anything.
It is already off, but I can point out that that is the safety circuit there. You do not want to bypass that circuit.
Thank you.
And you can see that you can't use it. Only a Bioroid can.
Yeah.
Okay. So I look at it and I just go, all right, Bunny, a bit of role playing here. You're Lucy. I guess I'm Volga. So let's say you saw the cadaver.
Yes.
What angle? Like I just like standing there with the heavy bit of machine and go, distance, angle, how tall do you think the person would have to be to actually get the shot, So I like start doing angles and like making you look at where the laser would come out.
I like this.
This way.
Okay. I'm going to let Folgo give you a CSI roll. It's going to be medicine, add a blue,
Oh, hell yeah.
and it can be any difficulty between 2 and 4.
Uh-huh.
And as you're doing this, I like pull over the security guy. Can you stand next to me just for comparison, your height compared to mine?
Just gonna do.
It stands next to you.
Oh, that's. Wait. Oh, yeah. Credits got set to because I added that earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm setting my strain in order to add a success.
Yep.
And.
Love that ability.
Yeah. I'm not afraid to use it.
Yeah.
We only have one more session after this.
Medics get stressed out. Do it.
Let's see. Yeah. Do I get any blue dice for Lord helping?
That was why I said give yourself 1 boost. Actually, give yourself 2 boosts because you have the scan of the body as it was hit.
Oh no, 2 boosts makes me really tempted to go up to diff 4.
That's part of why I like the system. And part of it's like poker. It's like, do you want to put more in the ante? You sure?
Yes, I do. I live dangerously.
3 successes and 2 advantages. Okay.
On a diff 4.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So.
That's worth 2 strain.
Looking at Lord Folgo versus a Bioroid, you know that these Bioroids are standard industry Bioroids, right down to the size. You ask Folgo to give it to the Bioroid. You look at the Bioroid. It's still not tall enough. So
interesting.
You kind of take out the simulation and cast a hologram from one of your devices. And it's there kind of rotating. You're kind of like, And so you've already got the successes, so I'm going to put some words in your mouth. You actually ask the Bioroid to just cut something.
Yeah.
Bioroid finds some old packaging and you give it like a length to cut, and it cuts it perfectly. Too perfectly. The cut that you see in what was just some scrap compared to the cut that you see on Lucy, the cut on Lucy was too imperfect. If that was done by a Bioroid, it would be not necessarily surgical because she would kind of move as she got hit. But you can see with this many successes and advantages, it wasn't a Bioroid that killed her.
Good.
However, this person was taller than a Bioroid. At which point you look over and there's like a little loading gantry where like a truck would go up to it and the tailgate would come down like onto the ledge. And you go, no, they were standing on an elevated position. Whoever killed her on an elevated position. That's a scene requirement. So anything that didn't have that kind of position, and it couldn't have been like a small gantry or something. The person has to hold out what is effectively something the size of a minigun.
Yeah.
By knowing that it wasn't a Bioroid that shot her, you know that none of the cutters in this yard killed her because they can only be used by Bioroids.
Yeah.
When the Bioroid turned around and said, "Oh, don't bypass that circuit," Folgo was like, "How the fuck would I do that?" You'd need to have like a tech to be able to do that, so that you adapt something purely made for Bioroids, and it would probably need a tech and somebody with a good brawn score to be able to lift the bloody thing in the first place.
Yep.
Because Bioroids can lift things as if they had +1 brawn due to their structure. They don't get hernias.
Yeah. I remember the rules about brawn. I've played a brawn character.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Victoria would be able to flip this thing around and juggle it. But, the average population of New Angeles wouldn't be able to lift this thing properly. No. They'd be able to, like, just about lift it up with a bit of... and just about get it onto, like, a lifting cart or something. It'd be like lifting a small engine block. What they couldn't do is wield it with any freedom of movement.
Right, that's actually useful.
And when you say freedom of movement, they would be able to walk with it or just not be able to tilt with it?
Slowly. Really slowly.
There are
cutters that are made for naturals to use. More lighter cutters than these. These are made specifically for Bioroids. The reason why they're up on the hooks on the walls without being locked away is that nobody's strong enough to lift them off the wall. And
would you know if a normal human cutter would do the type of damage that this cutter did? Yes, it would. Yeah, I'm going to trip on the level successes. Any cutter would be able to do this to human flesh. There's a certain amount that where these high-level cutters and a lower-level cutter would do the same damage to a human body because it doesn't really matter. A lot of damage is a lot of damage. You can't quantify it down to a calibrated level. All stuff I wouldn't know. I'm just playing with a gun. But Bunny's figured it all out.
Yeah.
I mean, you prompted the investigation, Folgo, but Bunny's sorted it. She's like, yeah, it was not a Bioroid. It was a human cutter, which would have been lighter than this one. It was imperfect, so they probably just kind of shot it and kind of maybe didn't control the recoil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which kind of suggests whoever used it probably wasn't as proficient. You could probably rule out, to a certain extent, cyborgs and people who are highly proficient with cutters.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Very interesting.
In the same way that a very good investigator would be able to tell if a trained Bushido street samurai had killed somebody, or a 13-year-old who just thinks that katanas are cool.
Yeah. We've seen a few of those.
Sorry for delaying the
Hilariously
break.
enough, there was actually
No,
a
that's
case
fine.
of something similar in my town a few years ago.
Yeah, somebody pulled a. It wasn't even a katana. It was like a fantasy sword. I hope it wasn't Sting or something. But yeah, somebody went mental in the.
Because you can't get guns, they were like, I have a
Yeah.
fantasy sword and a gas mask that makes me almost look like Darth Vader, and they went into a school to kill kids.
Somebody did it in one of the places in Oxford. Started threatening people in the street because he was trying to find somebody that he was going to, he was going to get his revenge on. And apparently he got knocked the fuck out by a 41-year-old ex-boxer who just walked straight over and went, "Kid, leave it out," and just fucking hit him to the floor with one
Yeah.
punch. And this kid was about 17, but with a sword, he just went,
Kids
just
do
knocked him the
stupid
fuck
things.
out. And it's just the police turned up and he was like, he's fine. He put him in the recovery position, had the sword over by the side, was like, nobody touch this, and they're like, oh, we're not going anywhere near you. And he was just there and he was like, right, I knocked him out, but he had a sword on him at the time, and the police were like, yeah, you're fine. Kind of thing, no problem. It was like, we got to take down your details, but you're fine.
Anyway, break time.
Yes. Yep, we're going to take a 10-minute break, and when we get back, we're going to delve further into what's going on. See you then. And we are back. When we left off, we were going through Banner's yard to see what went on in there. And some discoveries. Whether or not those discoveries you were meant to get there, who knows? Tangents happen. So, do you have anything left in Banner's yard before you want to leave?
I think that we're leaning more towards trying to find out what happens in the post Ironworks question mark block rather than digging too much deeper here, right?
Leaning towards that, yes.
Okay. Yeah, go on. Let's do that. Then. Let's just head down. Let's go on. Let's open this can of worms and head to the Ironworks. So we'll. I'll wait outside.
Either way, like we got out of this that it doesn't look like Human First had too much to dislike about her until the message boards happened.
As you are leaving Banner's yard, bear in mind how expansive a place it is. Your tail, Scorm, Lord, says, "Hey, yo, I managed to secrete myself at the station, man. So some of these dudes they got off the tram just long enough to give something to a bioroid that was there, and then they jumped back on. I didn't get their look, man. They got like all hooded up and masks and stuff. They gave like a package to bioroid, and I heard them clearly say, there's some investigators, and there to give the package to the investigators. Bioroid's coming towards you, man. That could be like a pipe bomb, man. You don't want to do that. You don't want to take that package, man. You want to be careful."
Right, I just before we leave the yard, I'm just like, "Hey, security bioroid man."
Yes, sir.
Right, yeah, I forgot to sneak inside for a moment. There's a person, a bioroid, that says they got a package. I can't do the scanning stuff. Do you think you'd scan it, make sure it's all good and all that, make sure it's nothing untoward? I've heard they got a package for me.
Of course. We have the best bioroid supplied by Haas Bioroid to be able to scan this type of thing. We shall get one of our bespoke-made units to go and check the package now.
Yeah, so they're coming this way, I've heard. So just keep an eye out for a bioroid. You'll have a package on them.
You can see from the kind of exit, which has got a few windows and things like that. You can see the bioroid walking along just with this package, and it gets intercepted by what is not the usual bioroid. You've got lots of other bioroids around. This one's got like a head with like too many eyes and things like that. It picks up the package and goes, brings it to what would be its nose. And the security droid next to you goes, "Processing olfactory mass spectrometer." Standard packaging materials have been detected. Content: ground coffee beans.
Yes!
Alright, that was probably a gift for Bunny.
Oh, give me that sweet goodness.
Would you like the package delivered?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much, man.
And sure enough, on your way out, a bioroid goes, "A gentleman left this for you." And a kilo bag of coffee is held out.
Score.
This is high class stuff. This is like corp level stuff.
Has Lorenzo told us about the package yet? Not the package, the footage.
The footage. Have you, Lorenzo?
I probably would have just been waiting to be met up, if I'm honest. But
Yeah, you've all met up now.
Yeah, we're
okay, right, yeah. In that case, absolutely, yes. I'll definitely share the information. But like, yes, there was like he seemed to dealt with a Human First break-in a couple of days ago now, but seemed to handle it. A couple of 4 big old clones in tow. Something seemed to, I don't know, got her attention. Tagged her in the arm, maybe. Not sure, but
Well,
It's like
we
what
did
we're on.
figure something out. The bioroids are definitely too tall to have been a potential killer of Lucy due to the angle of the wound. But if it was a human, then they probably were standing on something elevated. Well, definitely standing on something elevated.
Haas bioroid, industry-grade bioroids, do not kill individuals. However, if
Of
you would like
course
to find a bioroid that is capable of killing with great efficiency, please contact Haas bioroid for our military-grade models.
Will do.
all right.
Yes, Lorenzo is better. He's getting better than the advertising than you are at this moment.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're on the same rates.
Probably not. Hey, so what did you say about our hand? You said something about our hand in the tussle.
Well, I just like scrub through and show the frames that were, but it's like something seemed to, I don't know, tag her. She seemed to
Hey,
there
Bunny,
seemed to be something wrong.
did anyone come to your place with a broken nose or a black eye or something? I've seen someone give a shiner and then like shake themselves off like that. Like many times over.
I mean, the amount of people I've treated for those things are plenty, but usually in these parts, no one who only gets a black eye calls for a medic. Way too expensive.
Yeah.
Unless you're verging on losing your eye, then usually it's considered non-issue.
Well, then we can definitely think the punch point that not much. So. Whew.
Did we
Well-
see? So who was the package supposedly from? A gentleman was all we got told.
A gentleman from the tram.
A gentleman. Oh, I see. Yeah, much appreciated. So I guess we head back to the tram ourselves. I think we're done here for now. And head off towards the back up north, basically back towards the ironworks.
Thank you for visiting Banner's Logistics, a Haas bioroid supported industry.
It was enlightening. Thank you. I guess once we're on the train, I definitely want to like just get a pen or something and just like leaf through the coffee. Just like a little prod inside to see if there's anything secreted within the package.
Seems to be prime 100% grade coffee.
I will stash it in my like secure.
Oh yeah, you can bribe people with this shit.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
can bribe people with this shit, including me.
We're not all the way to Shadowrun's soy calf level of not being able to get the good stuff, but it gets rarer and rarer the further you go down the class line.
This will be my lifeline for the coming months.
Yeah.
You
Doesn't
have
smell
a
like alcohol
very
and drugs.
happy
Doesn't-
medic.
Okay. I'm gonna put Shady Dudes gave us coffee.
Probably the hooligans.
Most likely the
Shady
hooligans.
Dude. That's all we know right now. Cool. On the train. Woo, woo.
And you're back in the strip. I assume that you're going to the gym.
Yeah, I think that seems like the next best lead we've got.
Okay. So, as you get to the gym is a neon monstrosity. You've got holograms, you've got neon signs, you've got ads. So many ads. The ads that are pissing off this gym for various kind of boosters and products and things like that, they outshine even Lorenzo's coat. And as you go to walk past, to go to the front entrance, but you're still walking past, one of the targeted ads that believes you're a passerby suddenly fires up. You might be buff, but are you Buff Bradshaw Buff? Yes, the world-renowned strongman is our celebrity trainer, and he is ready to rip you up! Yes, that's right, Buff Bros and Buff Babes. You too can tighten your deal without an inch of steel using Bradshaw's tried and tested torturous training techniques and totally organic medical-grade and bioenhancers. Become a perfect blend of strength and motion. Join the Ironworks gym today. Bioenhancers can cause infertility, impotence, psychosis, random sexually transmitted diseases, and death. Jinteki corporations accept no liability for side effects. All possible outcomes are sole intellectual property of the Jinteki Corporation via the Ironworks subsidiary. And you're at the entrance.
So we're playing the doctor card. Seems the way to play it.
Yes? No? I don't know. You're the talky person. I mean, I can do things if we get the scans, but getting them is going to require making them break their patient confidentiality unless, well, places like this usually like to boast about their scans, so, they might be public due to the
one of us can get on the
leaderboards and
scoreboard.
such.
Get ourselves on that leaderboard. Maybe I had to charm them into giving us,
It's worth a try.
Kind of depends on the counter, doesn't it? If it's just another roid or a clone, then it's more problematic, and a bit more loyal. Well, let's go with the doctor card and see how far it gets us. But yeah, I like the idea of checking the leaderboard too. Let's see what there's just out there.
Okay. Are you going through the front door?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you go through the front door, a gigantic man snatches the biggest deadlift you've ever seen in your life, snatches up in a single motion, presses it up to the sky, and with a roar throws it down on the floor, breaking two kind of holders where normally it would be like stop it rolling. He breaks it both, and this guy he towers head and shoulders above most other people. His muscles bulge with so much definition that he looks like he's been skinned and vacuum packed. His veins bulge obscenely from his body like marine-grade ropes, coil around his biceps, his thighs, his temples. He's naked apart from a pair of black Speedos with an advert for the gym pulsing around the waistband in little LEDs like a Times Square share ticker around his midriff. His skin is hairless all the way down. So there's not a single hair on his body, apart from a shock of hair on his head, which is kind of styled with product in there. His skin is also completely flawless, which suggests a large amount of plastic surgery. He stares you with bloodshot eyes, pointing at you, bellowing, "Are you ready to rip it up?"
I just look over to Lord and be like, well, are you ready to rip it up?
Oh, sure, I'll give it a go.
He comes straight up and goes, yeah, you are. And he grabs your comm link, slaps it on a pad. Congratulations, you now have a subscription to Ironworks Gym, and that you're paying for. And he pulls you along to the thing. And he says, Yeah. You just strip down, and one of our instructors will be with you now. Get ready to rip it up! And then he starts going to the others to see if he can get the rest of them to rip it up as well. An instructor comes along and gives you your branded Ironworks vest, your branded Ironworks shorts, your branded Ironworks socks and shoes, all paid for by you. And it says changing rooms are over there, mate.
I just look at him and go, "They sure are." And I just throw the bag over to Lorenzo and just like walk over to like the desks.
The trainer goes, "Don't you want your workout?"
I mean, I can work things out. I've been doing it in these clothes just all day.
You're gonna sweat a lot, especially when you get the injections.
I haven't seen him after a night out. He doesn't care.
I just like tilt to Lorenzo. He's like, "Hey, get House Biowork to cover the bill." We're there on their behalf. They go over to a desk. Like, "Hey, I heard you got a bioscan around here."
Yeah. I mean, we got to do you an initial scan to show where you started, to show the progress. But normally you put sure, if you want to do him in those clothes, sure, Sure.
job. I just like standing there. Oh, you see my keys? Let's go over. Yeah.
And yeah, he takes you over to the bioscanner and goes, sure, let's do your starting scan, I guess. He seems to be a little bit, swayed. I mean, this guy's ripped. This guy, he's not Buff Bradshaw ripped, but he's fairly ripped, and he's just like, I guess everyone has to start somewhere. Go on, get in. He starts doing a bioscan of your body.
As he's like,
I lean back to like see what type of machine they use and things like that.
Basic bitch bioscanner.
Yeah.
All this does is just do body mass index, muscle density, fat density, fat proportion, that kind of thing. You can find these scanners at fairgrounds and shit. It's slightly better than a fairground scanner, but yeah, it doesn't need to know that much.
No.
I heard you guys had a real scanner somewhere here. I thought that was part of the attraction of this place.
He said the guy goes, no, this scanner's a good scanner. I mean, it's only got basic software on there, but the fittings and all the rest of it, it's actually the same sensor array that you'll find in a hospital. All they do is they put less software in here. It doesn't actually cost them that much more. In fact, it would cost them more to have two different scanner types. If somebody wanted to repair a hospital scanner, about 80% of what's here could replace what's in a hospital scanner. It's just the software. It's leasing the software. That's what drives up the bill. If we had a medical grade software, it costs us like 10 times the amount to sustain it. And I'll give it to you for free, Bunny. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah. Checks out.
As I'm getting the scanner, I all over and like, hey man, so I look around here. I gather you, because of all the people doing the muscle stuff, you get a lot of naturals coming in there.
Well, we're we're kind of pro-natural here. I mean, we're not against. We'll have Gmods. It turns to Bunny. Says we got a lot of Gmods in here. Absolutely, no problem. Got no problem with that. I would normally talk about like not having any steel, but we let people with like cyber implants come in, and he points to somebody over there. So like that guy over there can't replace his leg at the moment. He's still ripping up his biological parts though, so he's cool. What we're saying is that don't rely on steel. Don't rely on cyborg parts. If you got to have them, sure, you got to have them. But we're talking about like develop what's there, man. Develop what's there. I mean, if after that you got to have a bit of other stuff, sure. We're not going to judge. But the sales technique is you don't need cyberware.
I got none of that stuff anyway. Sorry if this is pushing any buttons or anything, but do you get those human first guys like trying to recruit around here or that?
We don't judge. We're not on either side of that. If any human first people start ragging on the cyborgs here, we'll kick their ass out.
I just wondered if they tried recruiting, trying to do that type of stuff.
Nah, if they came in here trying to recruit, that's gonna put people off coming in. No, people got to be coming in here for one reason, that is to rip it up. Yeah, you notice he doesn't growl it like Bradshaw. Bradshaw, by the way, is now accosting other people coming in through the front door. It seems like he's certainly not a trainer here. He's more the main event.
He's the hype show.
He's the hype show, yeah. He's there. He's flexing in front of a pair of girls at the moment and gyrating in their general direction. The trainer seems to be a little more down to earth. He's kind of like, this is a job. But, he seems to be benefiting from it. And he goes, he said, we try to keep politics out of this. It's kind of like the bond, it's like a bro bond. There's me, your trainer, there's you, and then there's going to be you now, and the better you later. That's what we're all about. He's kind of, even though he's more down to earth, he does buy into the Ironworks ethos. He's just kind of taming it down a bit, going, hey, don't worry about the hype. This is the real deal. He's being a better salesman than the Buff is, yeah? That's all it is. You give yourself over to us. Come to the training sessions when we say you come. We can work around your schedule and all the rest of it, and we will get you. And at that point, he flexes, and you can see that the t-shirts they've been given are kind of like figure-hugging t-shirts. He flexes, and you do suddenly go, "Hello, mama," kind of thing. It's like his pecs suddenly kind of bulge, and he goes, "You can have this. Anyone can have this." Yeah.
Basic biology.
He goes,
Well,
well,
look at myself
biology,
and I'm
and he
lanky as
pulls out a small kind of injector gun. He goes, well, that and we help Mother Nature along a bit. If Mother Nature didn't give you what you need, well, we can. And he puts it back in the thing, and you notice it locks immediately. It uses his biodata to open up because it's probably pricey as fuck.
Yep. Don't want no random to get their hand on that.
I don't want to criticize you, and I don't want to put you off. You're a paying member now, but you don't seem like our usual sort.
Oh, I'm trying it because one of my mates tried it. Lucinda Mayo.
Oh, Luce. Yeah, we love Luce. She's nice.
Oh yeah. She said about checking how much I stack up against her on the old scoreboard.
Oh man, you got some work to do, my friend. You got some. Well, she's cyborg, yeah. So no judgment, no judgment. And she did say that eventually she wanted to go natural again, which of course means that we'd have to help her, rehabilitate her wetware with the rest of her body. But oh man, she was ripped, man. She had a ripping bod. Yeah, and she needed it as well. I mean, she work hard, play hard, all the rest of it. I mean, she had some stamina. That girl. I mean, I'm not saying I experienced the stamina, but she, I knew about her day. We'd all talk, we'd chat, we'd shoot the shit. We've got a club. Once you get to a certain level, we have like a social club where we just talk about next step kind of thing. And she said, she's busy all the time. She barely ever sleeps. Normally she passes out because she's partied too hard, and she wakes up early the next morning and she's off to work again. The girl had some stamina.
Trust me,
I
she's had that since.
I haven't seen her since yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
but
seemed odd when she came in. She's been acting odd a bit lately. But
yeah, yeah. I mean, we got client confidentiality, but you clearly know her.
We're
Yeah.
from the same parts, let's just say that.
He kind of looks at you as
Basically
if to
grew
say,
up
I didn't
together.
always, I may work on the strip, but I don't live on the strip. He kind of gives you that kind of nod. And he goes, yeah, she's been going through some stuff. We don't inquire, we don't
Of
Pry.
course not.
We've got a single mission here and we went to help her out. But, she was distracted by something. I say, I'm not going to delve. I don't want to know.
was she distracted when she came in, or was she good when she got in?
I mean,
After.
she came in with purpose. I mean, I thought she was really going to rip it up. It's just he's being kind of branded to say rip it up every time it's coming to work out. Yeah, she looked set to rip it up. But in the end, she didn't work out at all.
Right. I'll be honest.
Really?
Mate,
That doesn't sound like her.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so I don't know what it was. Maybe she tried stretching out and couldn't do it, or maybe she was just too rough the night before. Maybe she drank too much. But yeah, she came in, scanned herself. Took a long time doing it as well. She took nearly an hour scanning herself.
That's odd. A basic scan like this shouldn't take an hour.
She said that it wasn't working. We said we'd come and fix it for her, and she could use a different one. And she said that she had it. I mean, she had already got, like, as I say, she was an advanced member, so we don't scan the advanced members. They do themselves these days. And
you don't store any of that data.
Oh yeah, we got it. We got her all on file. We can show you all her gains, all her losses, all of that stuff. Yeah.
It would be cool to see, because she has been bragging a lot about her progress recently.
Yeah, you want to see her progress? I guarantee you'll see her progress, and you'll be signing up just like this fellow. Hang on a sec. Let me call up her here we go. Here's her league data, and sure enough, you can see a chart with 3 lines. One of them is like her body fat proportion, her muscle mass, and it seems to be her muscle mass over various zones that's increased, and her BMI as well. And she's like, for a person of her height and all the rest of it, and her age, she seems to be like perfect stats. And sure enough, she's got a 99.78 on basically perfect body index.
Anything look off about the charts and such, like dates and things?
Looking at it, this is too basic compared to the data you've got on her. This is too basic. Now you know that there'll be more complex data on the hard drive. He's showing you just her league statistics, which is a very brief down version of that.
I'll be honest, mate. Do you think we can go somewhere a bit private, like an office or something? I just need to discuss something. Yeah, just like me and Mace.
We got an office out back. He looks a little.
He may
concerned.
look tough, but he can be a little bit shy in front of all these strangers, you know.
Just, come on, man, come on.
Just like, you're a good man, and I start playing some bit of music just just as we're walking.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to comment on that. As he walks to you, he's finished a bioscan of you, and he goes and pulls it onto a pad so you can discuss it in the office. Takes you in. He says, come sit down. And you can see that everywhere there are awards and big posters of Brad again, in his little tight Speedos, flexing in various positions. And he goes, so talk to me, man. Talk to me. I say, we're here for one mission.
I had my scan to Bunny just to see what data they have, like if it does have my organs and stuff like shown, like because it's mine.
So you ask for your data. He goes, yeah. I mean, it belongs to you. It's your data.
Right.
And yeah.
I'll be honest, mate. I'm going to drop a bombshell on you. Twice, mate. You've been a great man. You've been helping us out. You've been giving us. You've not been lying to us. You've not been giving us the stick. Lucinda's dead.
Hey, I'm telling you, our bioenhancers may be rough, but they would never do that. Yeah.
Oh, it's not that.
I mean, if you had a heart condition and you didn't tell us, that's down to you. That's not down to the bioenhancers. Yeah.
Mate, we're not after your job. We're not after any of that type of stuff. I think you're a good man.
Okay.
Look, basically, she ended up being killed, and
she got killed. Oh man.
Yeah, she didn't die from anything you did.
Okay.
The thing is, though,
at which point you can see, how can I help you? Coming out of it.
Yeah. So we've been asked to investigate her death. By her, she is being rebuilt as a bioroid. Type of thing, all that. Yeah, she didn't want it, but she didn't rebuild it.
He basically what you've told him. She's dead. They're making a copy of her. He doesn't care. He's just like, she's dead. Yeah.
Okay.
It's clear that he doesn't see her bioroid copy as anywhere near Lucinda.
No.
And you'll notice there's a lot of different opinions to this. You'll see a whole spectrum of opinions throughout the city. And he goes, oh, shit.
Trust me, none of us wanted this either. Me and Lucy were planning her proper wetware. Air, by the way. I'm her doctor.
Good to know. So you're looking through Lord's data at the moment. I would like you to do me a medicine check.
I'll do a normal one for this.
And
what's the diff?
The diff on this is just going to be 3.
Yeah. Should be fine. No blacks, because I removed those. Oh, that's an interesting one.
Okay.
Oh,
you
dear.
can tell that there's something wrong with this. Something that doesn't fit. But you can't tell what.
I succeeded?
But
I guess that's the
with
threat.
obfuscation. That's what those threats I'm giving is, that you succeed in the thing. You know there's something wrong with what you're looking at. You just don't know what.
Can I look again? Because I mean, I'm doing this while we're
Nope.
talking.
That's what the
Nope.
threats have done. Is that you're just
Yeah.
there, and you keep looking at it, and you're going, I'm passing over something. I'm passing over something. No, I can't
Yeah.
give you that either because there's too many threats.
Well, let me just ask the guy then. Do you think it would be possible for me to look at the proper scans of Lucy's? Because I'll be honest.
Do you have power of attorney?
Well, we have her own, permission to look into all of this.
Does a simulation have power of attorney over her?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works, right?
You got any documents or anything like that to the effect?
I
Well,
look
this
at
doesn't
Lorenzo,
have
who
fire,
has
right?
all of the has pyroid things and stuff.
Yeah. I guess I'll flash the credentials and see if that gets anywhere.
Yeah, he takes a copy of the credentials the second that he sees it, and goes, "Okay, if you weren't permitted to do this, it's on you. I've got what I need." Opens up the files, throws them to you.
I will take a look at her files.
Okay. You can have another roll. I won't tell you what was wrong with
The first
Lord's.
one, no. I don't want to know what's wrong with the first one. I just want to know
You can do another
hers.
roll, same diff, but for reasons I can't tell you, you do get a blue.
Lovely. And I will do the thing of
do you wanna take it
taking
up?
some more strain.
Take an upgrade as well. Come on, this is a big money roll. This is one.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that.
Needs it.
And I'll sub my strain to...
Hey,
Aye.
my God. Yeah. It's when there is a
Bunny
boss
needs
fight.
coffee badly.
There is a boss fight at the end. We're doomed.
We are investigating one of our best friends' murder. Of course, they're stressed.
There
But
it
they
is. There it
fucking
is.
do their job.
Yeah, so you immediately recognize that one of the two files that made up that composite file, this is one of them.
Yep. I
And,
assumed as much.
Not only that, but you're pretty sure that given a bit of time with this, you'll be able to see what the parts that she chose not to have.
Mm-hmm.
This is a second tier success. You kind of got the 2 and 2 together now. And it's something that just hits you. There's certain things that shouldn't be on here. This isn't basic bitch software. This is like middle medical grade software.
Yeah.
This isn't the software that the trainer told you.
No.
It's been upgraded.
Yeah, I will actually bring that up. You said you were using the basic software, didn't you?
Yeah, just basic fitness stats type of thing you'd
Well,
get.
take a look at this. You can clearly see that this is not made using that software. But this is what you have on record.
I'm going to have to take your advice for it, Doc. I don't know what I'm looking at. All I know about is the stats that I get given. You know, has she got enough muscle mass? How how
Can
much
I
protein's in her blood?
pull who in the facility is in charge of these? Do you have someone who knows the machine, or do you just call in an expert whenever it malfunctions?
We got a number we call if they break. They just get installed. None of us deals with any of that. We don't have any people who repair it on the fly. If they break, it just gets replaced.
Who?
While you have a look at that.
I mean, if there's a software problem, we just, we call up tech support and they do it remotely.
I wouldn't say it's a problem. If anything, you've gotten a free upgrade, even if it's not entirely legal.
I don't think we'd know how to use it. Maybe it was some sort of bug on an update. Maybe they bugged the update and gave us the full license. Does that happen?
Possibly, but then it should have applied to...
If Piper was here, Piper would tell you that never, ever happens.
Oh, no. I realize that as a tech person, but, in character, I'll be like, Maybe, but then it should have applied to Fulgo's, because if it worked on hers yesterday, it should have worked on all of them since.
I look at mine like I don't know how to read this.
No, you don't.
So you say
Falgo's liver is a little too large, by the way.
Living at large.
We shall discuss this later, Lord. There are some things that we need to rectify in your diet.
Like your plummeting descent to death by cirrhosis of the liver. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll be
you
honest, what's
say
the diet?
you say Lucinda spending about an hour in the scanner and then another half hour working out.
No. Buff went up to her and said, he challenged her and said, are you here to work out or what? And she just kind of said fine, packed up her stuff. She had a lot of stuff on her. Packed up her stuff and left. She was really upset. I mean, I think she was upset before Buff came over to her. I think she just had like a really bad day or something. I think the reason she didn't work out is that, she was upset about something. Maybe like a lover blew her off or something. I don't know. Yeah. She was real upset. She was real upset. Like I think she was upset when she came in, but that's my opinion. But she was more upset when she left. She was so upset.
Well, I will take a copy of these, but after that, I think
You got power of attorney. Take them.
Yep. I think we got what we needed from here. These
I
are
was like,
interesting. I'll have
look
to
at the
look
guy.
at closer between the differences between these and the scans we have, but I'll do that later when we're.
I will remind you, Dr. Bunny, that if you don't feel up to the task, you do have a favor from your institute that you can call in.
True, I do have that.
So
Should I
for
do-
everybody who's watching, when you build a character in Android, you normally start off with people you can ask for favors, like a contact, and then on top of that you can get perks which allow you free favors.
Yeah, and I have the talent former professor, which allows me to call in a favor from my institute, which would be med school.
Yeah, your medical school basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Which means, I could probably get us access to
Do the thing, run it through the supercomputers, all that stuff.
Yeah, like someone with more knowledge on scans than I do, like my teacher in that subject, and be like, hey, can you, I can't figure out what's the difference between these, help.
Sure. Okay, you're sending Lucinda's stuff, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Obviously, I have Piper remove all identifications, name and such.
They are just two bodies. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So you send it through, and let's see. This would be Dr. Schloss. Turns around and says, fascinating. Yes, I think I can see some definite symptomatic details here. And I'll need a short while. I'll need to go and jack in and absorb this correctly. Yes, I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
I will send a very nice thank you and be like, right, I'll get back on those in a little bit. Maybe we should talk to the lady anyways?
Merida. Seems like Lucy was pretty screwed up before she even got here, so let's keep pulling on that thread.
Okay.
She said that she was no good until she basically asked. She came in focused and had a fucking scan and looked like she got fucked up.
Yeah.
I do turn over to the guy who was helping us. Go, hey, do you mind making sure that my subscription doesn't reoccur? I'm gonna be sending the bill to House Bioroid So, you know, you don't want them coming down and be like, hey, how come you keep charging this after the investigation's over?
He goes, don't worry. You would be surprised how many one-time subscriptions we have.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Okay. And yeah, kind of rolling his eyes, he kind of cancels your subscription, lets you walk out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so where you go next?
Yeah, I think down to the strip to find where
You're
we...
on the strip anyway. So yeah.
Sorry, I mean,
We're on the strip. But yeah.
where is... Oh God, this is way back to session 1 now.
Meridian is on the strip as well. Just a bunch of beautiful apartments that.
Okay, so her apartment's on the strip.
yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's where we're from. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, sure.
Okay.
She might be with someone, but we're in the middle of the day, so hopefully not.
So you get to Meridian's place. You've already done your society check. I've got down here. So you know that Meridian Silk is a high-class sex worker. Sex worker is not a dirty thing in New Angeles. It's been very normalized. There's no stigma attached to it. There are some people who still have personal opinions regarding it, but the general public opinion is that sex workers are hardworking, artistic members of society. In a city where you can buy any sensation and any experience, they very much buy into the city ethos. So there's kind of almost a pride in that you can get anything in New Angeles, and they are part of that identity. So people certainly don't have a problem with that. And yeah, they're hardworking. They pay their taxes. Well, you don't have a choice. Everyone has to pay their taxes. It gets automatically ripped from your account. And so yeah, you know, they are as celebrated in the more kind of young contemporary circles as pop stars, actors, sports celebrities, that kind of thing. Certain sex workers will just have that kind of thing. They turn up on talk shows. They turn up on kind of like debate shows, like what we've got in this country called Loose Women. Not named that for that reason. And you know, kind of like breakfast shows and things like that. They're kind of everywhere. And so yeah, they have this minor celebrity status of just being seductive and in a way leading the charge as to what it is to be sassy and sexual and expressive and to own it. Very much kind of the celebrity status that drag queens have at the moment, where it's like you're loud, you're proud, you're unapologetic for being for your individuality. That's the case for sex workers in New Angeles, and in fact, I dare say there will be some drag queens, and there's the usual mix of right across the gender identity spectrum. And so you get into a beautiful apartment block. You would not call this a stack.
No.
This is not a stack. This is an apartment block. And going through it, it's beautifully laid out. If this was the stacks, people would be taking the light fittings off the walls because they know be able to get money for it. And there's plants in little hydroponic units, sweet smelling, night scented stock that's naturally perfuming the walkways instead of the artificial stuff that just gets sprayed out of a nozzle. And you get to the address for Meridian Silk that you got from your society check, and you see something that immediately alerts you. The front door is ajar. Where you come from in the stacks, this never bodes well. An open door in a place where somebody can just come in and steal your shit means something wrong has happened. What are you going to do?
I think pull out the fletchette pistol and just very tentatively just...
Should we like knock? Maybe, I mean, these parts are pretty secure.
Let's just have a little look-see first.
I hold my guitar over my shoulder.
And yeah, I will basically put my head slowly and carefully around the side of the door and see what we see.
Okay. The apartment that you're walking into is beautiful. I reference any kind of James Bond-esque penthouse style apartment. This isn't the penthouse, it's like a third floor from the top, so still pretty damn good. And it's got that penthouse feel to it. Tasteful but erotic art is on the walls. And as you come in, there's a scent to this place. This place has got this heady perfume that as you breathe it in, it has a sensitizing agent that makes your skin tingle all over your body. You walk in. At the moment, I'm guessing that you're coming in kind of stealthy and ready to make the first move.
That's the aim, certainly. Yes, just this is potentially again, you'd expect that whatever's happened has happened, but at the same time, just in case.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will give you a flash decision. You can see most of the living room, and it has like a mini bar. It's got beautiful kind of sofa set and chaise longue. It's got like a dining table. The dining table is for two, and it's as I say, it's got kind of little mini bar, and it's got like what seems to be like a not like a fully functional kitchen. It's kind of got like a really sassy looking teppanyaki grill kind of setup. It's for sexy cooking, and you can't see any signs of foul play. What are you going to do?
I still think it's too stinky, so I'm gonna look for the next door over, which I assume is the boudoir. But
Okay.
yeah.
As you get into the front room proper, you hear a voice behind you. As you're all in, you hear a voice behind you say, "I know everybody who's everybody around here, and you're not one of them. Why are you here?" You turn and, pointing, funnily enough, I have down here a flechette pistol at you, is a stark naked Gmod. I'm going to use sex as male, but you know from your thing that Meridian Silk is they, them.
Yep.
I guess we're like, well, where were you hiding that thing? Looking at the pistol, but
They give you a shriveling look and say, "Flirtation gets paid for. Who are you?"
friends of one of Lucinda Mayo.
Keep talking.
Well, it seems that she left here rather upset yesterday, and she sent us to. Let me wind that back for a second. Let's just say we were on a job right now to find out why.
I'm going to give it to you because of time and narrative.
Sure thing.
Meridian says quietly, "Tongue check," and cocks their head as if they're hearing a response. Weapons away.
And get down into the back inside the coach.
Put my guitar back into playing position.
Meridian just kind of looks as if to say, "Okay, whatever." Puts the flechette, holds the flechette pistol up against the wall. This beautiful art piece parts, and you can see there's an array of weapons behind it. Puts the flechette pistol back, and the art closes again.
I'll be honest, it wasn't the first set of toys I was expecting to see here.
That's the other artwork. Take a seat. I have a client coming soon.
Nah. I'd take a seat somewhere that won't leave too much of a mess, because I know my character's covered in probably as much soot and dirt as be imagined. They're being polite to another performer.
You asked about Lucy. Why?
Something happened to her yesterday.
Don't
and we
bandy
need
your
to
words.
find
What
out
happened?
what. Well, she got killed.
Shit. Look, I've got to change. Um, come with me. You don't seem the type that's going to be clients anyway, so I guess showing you behind the screen isn't going to be that hard. They walk up to a panel, gesture in front of it, and the wall falls away, and behind is what looks to be like a clinic. Take a seat over there and talk to me. They pull a medical screen across, and looking
What
at
can I see, Simon?
you can see what the closest thing you've seen is transplant jars, and you can see a few things in the kind of slightly milky substance that's in there, and you can see parts.
Any reason?
People can't usually stomach the in between forms. You don't mind, do you? Take a seat.
I'm a doctor. It doesn't bother me.
Fair enough. And they pick up what seems to be a laser scalpel. Picks up a pad. Okay. Sure. Okay. Walks up to what seems to be like in a hairdresser's. A modern hairdresser's would be like the big, all-encompassing hairdryer. They put their head inside this unit, press a couple of things on the pad, and you can see that the hair dissolves away so that Meridian is completely bald. And then suddenly there's kind of pinpoint lights that appear, and very quickly the shock of short blue hair that they had is now being replaced by rapidly growing ginger hair.
That
So-
makes more sense. You adapt to what the customer wants then.
It's my brand. Like you, Gmod. I was experimental. I have easily re-expressible GNA sequences. I can also...
yes, I've studied a few of those.
as
You'd be surprised how many have wanted it since you got.
Well, that's the thing. Unless you have the primer at birth, you can't do what I can do. Means that have somewhat of a monopoly. Well, me and a few others, but we've agreed not to be in the same city. They hold like a pen-like device, and freckles start popping on their skin. So, what happened to Lucy?
Well, she got her whole rib cage melted off her body by
I don't want to
laser
know the
cutter.
detail. So she got killed.
You asked what happened. Yes.
Damn it. Style and shape, ringlets, shoulder blade length, and suddenly there's this cauterizing smell as some of the hair falls from the unit, and the hair starts being spilled into ringlets down the body. Well, what do you want from me?
Well, we would like to know what she talked to you about. Because you were with her the night before. And from what we've managed to gather, she started out her day in with some idea of what would happen.
Well, we didn't talk of anything of consequence. Typically, when people come to me, they don't want to talk about their life. Well, that's not true. They don't want to talk about their lives, but they often end up spilling the beans anyway. But she didn't. She was a pleasure to pleasure. I guess so. We started just before midnight. she kind of napped in between sessions. She wanted me to have different fixtures and fittings for the different sessions. She paid back to back. That's not a pun, by the way. And normally I get them to wait in the waiting area, but you know, I didn't let her in here because, again, seeing behind the screen takes the edge off. But I let the wall stay open a crack so she could shout through and talk to me as I was changing. I did some of the... Well, she was kind of ravenous. I mean, she...
More than usual.
If you know her, you know that she can have quite an appetite. She's also happy to test even some of my limits, my capabilities. I've responded to her needs in a number of different forms. And yeah, she tried some stuff that even I was surprised. Not in general, I've had certain requests before, but I was surprised that she almost like was going through the catalogue, you know? Occasionally she'd be working on her pad as well, which she never did before.
Oh.
I thought it was a case of she was stressed, so that's why she was burning out with me. And then she'd go to the pad, and I told her to put it down, and she snapped at me a couple of times. I must admit, that wasn't that great. But then, yeah, so she worked a little bit in the kitchen area, one of the bedrooms, the living room. Frankly, whenever I was ready for the next session, she'd stop what she was doing. We'd fuck right there. You know, I tried to take her back to the bedroom, but the sofa, even up against the grill at one point, it was switched off, thankfully.
Right.
To be honest, she looked like she was sending stuff, or was it just all on the device? You know, you can get that look when you're like typing something, you send it off to someone. You know they don't want to wait.
Well, yeah, I'm. She really burnt out, you know. I was wondering if she was having like a nervous breakdown or something. She spent a lot of money. So much money. I mean, I wasn't going to say no, it's my trade, right? But she paid for me to blow off a couple of minor clients. She thankfully was a high-ranking client, so I didn't have a problem doing it, but she paid a lot. She paid them off to take a rain check on me. Some of those people don't like being told no. But yeah, the thing that I don't get, I think she was stressed about work. Or something to do with her work. That girl could walk into a pair of street gangs facing off and not bat an eyelid. But half a day with like certain execs and she's beating down my door asking for the Pegasus package.
What does the... Okay. I assume that is one of your highest...
They press a contact and a cabinet opens and a pair of beautiful angel wings and what seems to be a horn are in there and says, well, if you're interested, I will need to do a credit check.
No.
Whilst
But
I was about to do another
curiosity
one of those.
mostly. We don't get a lot of other Gmods down in the Grove.
Ah, no. Well, as I say, I'm cashing in on a natural advantage. I don't mind. I was born with the ability to withstand pain. And to illustrate the point, they walk behind a panel. You can still see them from like the rib cage up. And to illustrate the point, they go to town with a laser scalpel. And they're doing it whilst talking to you, almost not watching what they're doing. We're able to get transplanted, modified. That was the whole point. It was a Gmod that was supposed to mean that surgery for us would be simplicity itself. I think it was originally as part of a super soldier package or something like that. You know, you could do like field repairs on a person in the middle of nowhere. You know, you just graft anything you want to it. So as a result, my body doesn't reject implants. The way that I use it, I'm able to change my body. You want more muscle, you want a little more cushion to push in, I can do any of that. And then as I started, finding out what was on Jinteki's back catalogue, I realized, you want a cattail? I can do your cattail. You want, it looks at the rabbit and says, do you have like a little pom-pom back there?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I'd love to get a pom-pom. I'd need to add that to my package. I wouldn't want yours. I just want to know if Jinteki have it. Yeah, so what can I say? Everybody looks for their edge in the city. This is mine. I can change myself to be... I can out-competition the competition. I can normally be better than anybody else. You have a particular need, I can get to that exact detail. I've had people send me drawings before, and I've been able to become that person. What can I say? I'm good clay.
Can I ask you a couple of questions then? Did Lucy ever ask you about your mods, like Jinseki stuff?
Not really. I mean, I know she's HB, but she didn't really care about sides. She did what was needed to be done. We talked about her getting some biomods at some point. I mean, last night we were talking about the night in question. We were talking about how I adapt genetically, and she seemed really desperate about that. She was talking about how is it that when I re-express my DNA, that everything just kind of snaps back together. I'm made of what's known as competent cells. They basically they accept DNA expression. So in some cases I can graft things onto myself. In other cases I can just have programmed DNA injected into me, and it means that within hours I start to change my form. They used to call it back in the 2000s. They used to call it shape shifting. Yeah, that's kind of a cool word, but I don't know. I don't like anything with the word shifty in it. But yeah, I can change my skin tone. I can do all sorts of stuff. She seemed to ask if that was something that Jinteki was working on to give people, and I said no. They abandoned our project a long time ago. I'm one of a batch of about 50, 60 people. Of that, I think there's probably about 30 of us left alive, 30, 35. Some of us died due to misadventure. The rest of us ended up pushing ourselves past the limit. We're not perfect. Kind of wonder what would happen if they developed a more perfect version of us. As in could absolutely change their form at will. That would be crazy, right?
Yeah. So let's get back on the point of what happened to Lucy. So, you got security around here. You got the guns. You have cameras.
Well, we don't have cameras in the flat, but I've got one outside.
Right. Do you think we can get access to the feed of what happened when she left? Maybe if she may have been a bit pissed off when she left, and maybe have voiced herself maybe in front of the camera or something before she came in.
Yeah, sure.
Some people put on a face before they go for a show.
They step out and have like a kind of wraparound dressing, I guess, around their midriff, as they're rapidly healing whatever they've just done to themselves, and they go up to a panel on the wall. Here we go. Yeah, I keep a record of outside the door just in case I get any, unwanted suitors. And they call up the footage, and you see Lucy, leave the flat kind of exhausted, satisfied. She closes the door, which clearly the previous client didn't. She closes the door, and she kind of flattens her back against the wall. She smiles, but you can see quite clearly that tears are rolling down her cheeks. And she stands up, kind of straightens herself up, kind of pulls herself together. And she turns and she kind of puts her hand on the door, almost as if she's about to open it again. And then she pulls her hand away and goes, kind of steels herself, opens her pad, looks at it and goes, puts it in her bag and marches off.
As I turn to Bud and say, so when they recovered her, did they do anything about her bag or the actual, the devices?
According to your file, nothing was recovered. That's a good point to end. You have spoken to Meridian. And if you want to go back in at the beginning of the next session, of course you can do that. And I will say that for the sake of brevity, everyone you've met so far, you now have their ID details. Tends to be standard practice. You meet somebody, you kind of go, hey, and you throw each other digital cards. So you can contact any of these people on Comlink now. And so you've got one more session. At the end of the session next week, I will ask you a few questions. Who killed Lucinda? Why did she do what she did? And why was she killed? And any other information that you believe cuts to the core of what's happened. Okay. And I will open next session with the response from Dr. Schlaus as well.
Lovely.
Because we didn't quite have time to cover that today. But big thank you to you all. I hope that there's plenty to go over here and piece together. In some cases, because this is 24 hours in New Angeles, some things have been put there where there's a small amount to gain from it, but mostly what you're doing is just looking around the sandbox. Yeah. And I hope that you have felt like you've been going through certain areas of New Angeles and soaked up some of the culture. It has been a bit of a whistle-stop tour that I've given you. So, big thank you to you all. We will be back tomorrow night at 8 p.m. For the continuing adventure of the Benefactor. We now have a shiny new part Void Dragon glory. As we said before, most of that was just a CGI change. Rather than having a huge amount of mechanical effect. But there is an essential mechanical effect that all the characters are going through, and Felicia has been very ostentatious on showing hers. So, big thank you to Hermit Prime.
And I say, you showed me the stat block of that thing, and I was like, yoink.
Yep. I thought that you would want to go for something like that. So, yes. How is it that a Void Dragon is going to help Felicia's character in the trials to come? We will find out as we continue the beginning of the end of the Benefactor on Friday. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a great time, and we're nearly there. The weekend's nearly here. Take care, all. Good night.
See you next week, all.
Bye.
Night.